Morning, chat. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Welcome in, Okairi. Thanks for all of the redeems, the meow and the ghost and the bonk. I appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. It is a rainy Thursday. Hi, Dank. Welcome in. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for the doot. But yes, it is a rainy day. Moved out. I haven't moved yet, but I'm moving in a couple days. Moving day is approaching. I'm moving in like half a week. I'm so nervous. I'm really excited though. But yes, we still have the hammock still here. A couple of the plushies are still here, but the room is very empty. It feels very weird. I just have piles of boxes everywhere. The whole apartment's empty. We have a little bit left of the kitchen to do, and then I have to do, I'm just gonna put this in a garbage bag. And then I have to put my bedding in another garbage bag, and then deal with my closet, and that's it. So, and the camera stuff, but I had to stream today. So, that's all going in a box after stream. But yes. Cat's Heaven. Oh yes, Kirby has been really enjoying all the boxes. Def just got home. But yes, it's been a good time. I'm really excited for the new place though. I'm excited to be done moving, actually, more than anything. I'm glad you're excited about it. Yeah. Def, can you close the door, please? Thank you. Yeah, I mostly just want to be done. The new place is going to be great, but I mostly just want to be done the whole process because it's so exhausting to deal with. Like, it's exhausting finding a place and applying for places and viewing places, and then you sign the lease, and then you have to figure out the money for the deposit, and then you gotta, like, pack, and then you have to figure out people coming to help because Steph and I can't drive. So we need people to drive a moving van and stuff. And then we also had to help Cryptid and Lucy move some stuff because they left last night, so they're away for a bit. So we have to move some of their stuff. Yay! Thanks, Dink. I'm also excited for it. I have plans in my mind for how I'm gonna set up my room. I have like some layouts that I've measured out based on the measurements that were on the like listing for the room. So hopefully those are accurate, but I don't know. Here's to hoping those are accurate. But either way, I should be able to fit most of my stuff in the new room. I just might need to arrange them differently, but I'm pretty sure, I have like my own private balcony, sort of. There's a door in my new bedroom that goes onto the roof. So I'm probably gonna just like read a bunch of books on the roof because I'm weird like that. And we're trying to plan out for next year, like planting a garden because we have a backyard. Oh, yeah. Though that does mean, so for October 2nd, that's a Thursday. We're moving on the 30th. I'm going to spend the 1st trying to set stuff up. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to try and set stuff up, but odds are we won't have internet yet. So I am going to stream because I do have the IRL stream set up, and even though I don't have I haven't fixed it yet so that the camera works with my phone, I haven't had time with all the moving stuff to like figure out having that run on here, but I can do a phone stream. So at the very least, I can stream it in the house off my phone. It might just take a little bit of finagling. I'm also going to, as soon as we get internet, I'm going to get Silent Hill F downloaded and we'll do some bonus streams because I'm away from the 8th to the 15th for my birthday and Canadian Thanksgiving. So I will not be here. So there's that. Also, one sec, guys. I just gotta ask Steph something. Alright, I'm back. I just had to ask Steph something real quick because she was fixing something that we had to do before the move, and I'm just like, hey, you done? Because I don't know if you noticed, I was getting really distracted. And I needed to know when she was leaving tonight because I have to figure out what I'm doing for dinner. So we have like no food left in the house for obvious reasons. But yes, so I won't be streaming the normal time. So next week I'll be streaming normal time, but it'll probably just be like, I don't know, setting up my room or whatever. And because like we won't have internet yet. And then as soon as we have internet, I will let you all know. And then I'll probably be streaming before the 8th. And then I'll try and stream a bunch in October to like make up for the fact that like I'm not gaming because of the move. And it's been a lot of just like sitting, hanging out stuff. Because I really want to play Silent Hill F. I just can't because it won't run on this. I also can't stream in the normal space because Kirby's there and is going to knock the camera over or unplug stuff. And I don't want to play a game on here with a single screen. Like capturing games when you're on a single screen with no easy way to switch scenes without like fully tabbing out of it. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare to stream on one screen, and I don't want to deal with that. So, yeah, next week it'll be unpacking, hanging out in my new room, getting a sense of the new space. I'll try and I won't be able to set up my new computer until next weekend because I won't have a desk yet. Everything is frustrating for me right now, and I'm overwhelmed and overstimulated. But I can at least show you what the new stream room is going to look like, and kind of give you a sense of like what the space looks like. I don't think I'm going to do a full house tour, just for, you know, reasons. Especially while we're still unpacking, because there's just gonna be fucking boxes everywhere. But I'll let you know. I'll decide whether or not I want to do like a full house tour or not. But yeah, we'll just be doing like unpacking and vibing in the new space next week off my phone. And then as soon as we get internet, we'll get Silent Hill F going. But you know, there's always, no matter how fast we do that, there'll always be a delay. Sorry, I'm gonna try and put my headphones on because Steph is currently packing and that's all I can hear and it's overwhelming. Like, I'm not normally like this, but I've been, like, Lucy and Cryptid have been in my house for 2 days and I haven't had any time alone in weeks. So I'm so overstimulated. Okay. Okay, that's better. Now I can't hear anybody. Now I can just hear you guys. But yeah, sorry. I'm just like super overstimulated. That's part of why, like, I had thought about maybe playing Date Everything today, but I'm just so overstimulated that I can't handle trying to stream a game on my laptop right now, and it's like actively dying. Like, my computer, like, Opera has crashed, my notepad has crashed, my whole computer keeps crashing, the GPU keeps crashing. Half the time when I full screen YouTube, it crashes my graphics drivers. Like, this puppy is dead. The fact that it can even do what it's doing right now is kind of impressive. I get screen tearing all the time. So I have everything backed up now. I went through a couple days ago and backed up all of my photos and all my files and stuff onto my external hard drive, so I won't lose anything. I might go through and try and see if I can make sure all of my game saves are like in the Steam cloud, just because that would be easier, but I have them all backed up anyway. But yeah. Yeah, so we'll be playing Silent Hill F whenever I can start it in October, and then we'll just play it until we beat it. It's like 50 degrees of fucked. Oh my god, yeah. This computer is so dead. Basically, we played Ludo, and I had to upgrade my graphics driver for that because I love indie games, but they are so poorly optimized. So I had to update my graphics driver to play that, and then that just destroyed my computer. And like, it wouldn't let me roll it back. I think it permanently fucked my GPU. Just because this laptop is so fucking old. The keyboard's also disintegrating. There's several keys that just don't work properly anymore. One that doesn't do anything. The left control key does nothing. The I key, like, triple types sometimes. So I'll get, like, random I's in a sentence. This thing's dying. But yeah. As soon as we can play Silent Hill F, we'll be playing that. This is the last stream of September, so I'm gonna call the cosplay, I guess at the end of today's stream, I'll post the link today, and at the end of today's stream, whatever is number 1, I'll be streaming the last stream before Halloween. Yeah, no worries, Steph. It's just I'm way overstimulated than normal. Okay, so yes. Just before Halloween, I will be hey Andrew, welcome in. Yeah, exactly. But yes, you have, today is your last day to vote in the straw poll. You can vote for as many as you like, but you can only vote once. And whatever wins, I will be wearing the day before Halloween. And we'll probably be fucking playing Silent Hill. So it's all my video game cosplays so far at time of making poll are on there. It looks like Bouzette is winning, which is really interesting because that's the most nothing cosplay. I mean, I will still be dressing up, but like, it's mostly just wear white and put the crown on my head. So it's, I'm really appreciating you guys picking like a low effort cosplay. Because it means it's like, because number 2 right now is Midna, which is the most annoying cosplay to wear. It's like a Zentai suit with 2 wigs and a giant helmet. So there's a bunch of stuff there. But make sure to get your votes in. Hi, welcome in, Dolly. Thank you. Yeah, I'm feeling strong. This is a really good tank top for me. Yeah, I hope you're having a good day, Dolly. But yes. So we'll be playing Silent Hill F to completion, however long that takes. That'll probably take into November. And then we'll get back to playing Oblivion, though there might be the odd, like, indie game I want to play in the middle, like a shorter game. We'll see. Because I definitely have a couple games that I've been eyeing, that are a little bit shorter. But yes, that is my current game plan. We'll probably do more Date Everything, but like, I just think I need a break from it for a bit. I need some spooky stuff. And we'll get back to making Sophia real, but like, I need a break. Plus it's spooky season. It's spooky season when I do spooky stuff. But yes, I'm very excited. I'm very tired. Doing a lot of packing. We should be done by the end of the weekend. Literally the easiest cosplay juxtaposed by the most knowing one. Yeah. Because, like, Bouzette is literally just a crown. Like, that's pretty much all it is. And then I just wear white. I can wear whatever I want and it would be Bouzette. I usually wear, there's like a glimpse dress I normally wear with it. And like black and white striped socks and stuff. Like, I have some extra effort I put into it, but the thing that makes the cosplay is the crown. Whereas with Midna, like, I have the Zentai suit, I have multiple wigs, it's really an intricate makeup, I can only see out of one eye, there's a huge helmet. Like, y'all had the chance to be really mean to me. Even like Darth Treya, like, there's a lot going on in that. There's a lot of makeup. Chell isn't too bad. Turret's kind of in the middle. Donna, I'd have to play with a flower glued in my eye. Because we're going to be playing Silent Hill that day. So you get to decide whether it's going to be difficult for me or not. But yeah, y'all are being nice to me. But yes. So that's the current stream goals. I'm not going to be adding a new follower goal until I complete the current one, because I think that's fair. But we're going to have to figure out what you guys want for the next follower goal. I will say follower goals have to be something that I don't have to spend money on. If I have to spend money on it, that's a sub goal. Let me see. I think I have a folder with like stream ideas. I think I had like a little notepad thing. Stream plans. Yeah, I think there was one where you wanted me to read books or do my makeup on stream, or maybe like doing like my like physio stuff on stream so you can kind of see the flexibility stuff that I do. Yeah. But or I could do like an IRL stream maybe, I don't know. we'll figure that out. I'm gonna do some thinky thoughts. But yes, so we will figure that out. Man, this year's gone by so fast. Oh yes, also for next month, I probably won't do it for the first stream in the new house. But whatever stream I end up doing, like there'll be a couple streams in October for my birthday / Halloween, where I'm gonna put a like sub discount. Anytime is there a thinking is thinky thoughts? Yes. I'll probably do it for the Halloween one, honestly. Just because that's like the only... It's really, really, really hard for me to have like a consistent schedule in October because there's so much shit happening. But the October 30th stream, I think I'm gonna do like the sub discount thing that we can do. Because I wanna save one for our stream anniversary as well. So I might do one like the day before my birthday, the day before Halloween, and then stream goal, because I think we can do 3. Also the 30th, I'm probably gonna stream like all day. We're gonna be doing some long streams in October. Also for anyone who's interested in my fan sites, there's a bunch of new stuff coming in October. Bunch of new stuff. Some of the prices on things are dropping, and there's a big sale that's coming for October. If you're interested in cosplay stuff or spicier stuff, someone might be at 30 FPS. But yeah, so that's coming in October. October's just a big month for me. I'm turning 35. Which is exciting. I didn't think I'd live to be 35, so this is kind of sick. To be like super candid, I didn't have the greatest mental health as a child for so many reasons. And then I had really bad physical health in my teens and 20s. So me making it to my 30s is super, super awesome. Not live, why? Oh, yes. Yes. I had a bunch of health problems. So, like, I've had, what illness? So many. I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is sort of the main one. I have gastroparesis, which that almost killed me because my stomach shut down for a year and a half. I couldn't eat food, and that sucked. I have GERD because of the gastroparesis. So I once got, well, twice, but once that was important. I got, stomach acid in my lungs, and I almost died. I had a PTSD flashback in a snowbank, and then almost got hypothermia and died. Yeah, I have so many health problems, it's ridiculous. Yeah. Just so many health issues. Also, welcome in, Lob Toby. I'm just gonna call you Lob. Welcome in. Appreciate you joining. But yes, I have a lot of health problems. So I'm just like really excited to be turning 35. That feels like a really big milestone. And like also feeling like an adult kind of for the first time, because like I run my own business, whatever. But I have a house now with like adults, and we're gonna like have a Costco membership. It's gonna be great. I have actual storage in my house. This will be cool. But yeah, I'm excited. What kind of business? It is a spicy business. It's a spicy business. I probably can't talk about in too much detail on Twitch, but I do sex work. But yes. So yeah, I'm excited to turn 35. That's in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Yes, on the 8th. So I won't be here on my birthday because I am going to see my family. I do that every year because my birthday is like the same weekend as Thanksgiving here in Canada. So I always go see my Go see my folks for a bit. Water. You were Google diagnosing a streamer last night with ED or EDS? Okay, cool. Water. Love me some water. Oh, I hope you guys like the music, by the way. I'm playing the Signalis OST. Sorry, I think it's a little loud. There we go. Oh, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, yeah. Yeah, easy bruising can be EDS or anemia. There's like a bunch of stuff. But yeah, if they're like bendy, that's usually a good sign. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, Signalis is so good. I did a cosplay shoot for it for October, so that'll be coming out. I don't have my other screen, so I can't like super show you guys the BTS, but there's stuff in the Discord if you're in the Discord. She didn't realize it's serious? Yeah, I mean, it depends too, because like some people with like hypermobility aren't in pain from it. But it depends on how you know, how affected you are. And then also like sometimes it's hard to take like health advice from like people you don't know, so that can sometimes be like part of the problem. I say this as someone who like has EDS and I'm frequently telling friends of mine that are hypermobile to be like, maybe go talk to a doctor. I have watched it on Salt Streams, so I added it to the backlog. Yeah, it's so good. The story is excellent. And I remember like Alice was so excited for it. And sent me a bunch of like lore videos to watch, which I devoured. Signalis is so good. The music is incredible. Like you can really tell the like Silent Hill influence just in the soundtrack alone. And I've watched, like, I have engaged with most of the influences on Signalis except for Evangelion, and I'm learning more and more and more. I need to watch Evangelion because I haven't yet. It's also really funny because my friends who have seen Evangelion are always like recommending people watch it. And they're always like, but don't binge watch Evangelion because it's not good for your brain to binge watch Evangelion. And then they turn to me and go, Azura, if you watch Evangelion, you need to binge watch Evangelion. Because like my brain's weird where like, I don't really get traumatized by fiction. So like I can handle really intense media, but I can get stuck in stuff where if I'm watching things for a long period of time, I'm constantly thinking about it. So it's not like it would be bad necessarily. It just might not be healthy for everyone around me. Also, welcome in, Lauren. Hi. I think you'd like it for what I know about your taste. Yes, I really do think I would. I just haven't gotten around to it. I really need to like make the time. Whee! Thanks for the follow. Follows are anonymous for lurkers. Oh, that's you, Lob. That's fine. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm still really proud of the new follower alert because I made that myself. It's the Bremen March from Majora's Mask. Which makes all the little baby animals follow you. And then it's the graphic, if it shows up. I can't tell if it does. Things might have broken. But it's like marching cats from like a little animation thing that I like, but I desaturated it so everything's black and white. Yes. It did show? Okay, cool. My brain is broken. Ooh, also, I got fillings yesterday again. That I hope is the last set of fillings I have to get for a while. But I got more fillings. and I got good marks at the dentist, which is both reasonable to want and possible to achieve. But we had a new dental assistant helping my dentist yesterday, and she was saying that my dentist said how nice I was, that I was like really sweet, and I'm like, oh, thank you. I try really hard. And then the dentist was really impressed with my pain tolerance yet again, which keeps happening to me. She was like, she kept being like, okay, like she's like, we're gonna be really careful so this doesn't hurt you. I'm like, whatever, it's fine. And then there'll be bits where she's like, okay, we're gonna drill deeper. Are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. And then there's a bit where they have to UV cure the like filling material, and they're like, okay, let us know if it's too hot. I'm like, I'm fine. And at the end I was like, is that really actually supposed to be like warm? And they're like, yeah, it's supposed to be hot. And I'm like, I felt nothing. And they're like, what? And I was like, yeah, that entire time I felt nothing. The only thing I could feel was like the stuff in the back of my throat. Like all the stuff you're doing to my teeth, I couldn't feel anything. And they were like, what is wrong with you? So that's fun. That's fun for me. But yeah, I keep having to explain to doctors that like I can't feel shit, man. Like if I'm in pain, I'll let you know, but probably I can't feel it. If I'm not saying anything, we're good. If I'm saying that I'm in pain though, if I've even noticed, you probably need to be worried. But yeah, so I got 3 fillings yesterday, all on this side. So that should be good for now. And then I get my wisdom teeth removed at the start of November. So I probably will have to move whatever stream that is, because I can't talk. Like I'm allowed to talk, but I'm not supposed to talk for hours at a time. So if anything, I'd have to have like a really short stream. We'll see what I can do. But streams might be a little bit funky in October and then a little funky at the start of November, but we'll be fine. But yes, also the dental assistant had so many questions about my job, because I think I had mentioned, because I was telling my dentist like, oh, originally the wisdom teeth removal was supposed to be October 1st, but because of the move, because I didn't know when my move was going to be when we scheduled that like months ago, like because of the move, I had to reschedule it, so I just rescheduled it for November because I have a bunch of like, I have my birthday and Thanksgiving and a bunch of work stuff, and she's like, and then like Halloween, she's like, yeah, that makes sense. And then she had to leave to go do something. And then the dental assistant was like, what is your job? I was like, I do in-person and online sex work. And then I also like do like assistance work for other sex workers, like support work. And she had so many questions, and they were all just like logistical of like, who pays for what, how. So that was fun. But yeah. I don't think other stuff I've done lately other than pack. Yeah, I mean, a little bit face, but like, she was respectful. She was just like she was older. So I think like she was an older Russian woman. So I think it was just like a little bit of like a cultural difference, because I'm not sure how that works in Eastern Europe. But because like laws are different in every country. But yeah, she was just like really curious, like respectful but curious. She was like, oh, how do you stay safe? Like, how do you do screening? Like how, like kind of roughly how does that work? Because like I'm used to, it's respectful, it's okay. Yeah, I mean, a lot of times I'm the first open sex worker anyone's ever talked to. So like, as long as they're not like, if they're saying stuff like, well, aren't you like riddled with STDs or something, then I'm like, okay, that's rude. But if someone's just like, oh, like, Do you work like out of a space? Do you go to their house? Like, how does that work? Like, I'm always willing to have like conversations with people who are curious and open. It's when they start being like actively disrespectful, like even if they just don't know any better. Because I have that a lot with Satanism. Like, a lot of people have never talked to a Satanist before, so they like, even sometimes people might be like, oh, are you like worshiping the devil? Do you like sacrifice animals and stuff? It's like, no. But like, if you've never met someone before who does this job, then you only know what the media's told you and like movies and stuff. Like, I'm pretty chill having those conversations as long as someone's not speaking over me, I guess. Like, as long as they're willing to listen to me, then like, I'm pretty chill. Like, if their mind is made up, then okay, that's like annoying, but I sacrifice capitalism. Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I basically, the way that Steph, Lucy, Cryptid, and I are setting up our new house is basically a commune. Because we all have very seasonal income. So we've basically just set it up as like, we don't have set splits of rent. It's just like whoever can afford it in whatever given month. Like, we're gonna make sure, we have like a rough guideline to make sure that we have enough, to make sure rent is always paid. But like I make more than everybody else in the winter. And like, a lot of people make more than me in the summer. So like, we're just sort of balancing it out so that everyone's sort of splitting things based on, not necessarily splitting things evenly 4 ways, but based on like our respective incomes to like take whatever burdens make the most sense for everybody. Because I mean, like, Lucy and I are both disabled, so there's only like so much we can do. But yeah, it's really nice too to just like be like, yeah, we're just gonna treat this as like a collective household. But yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, it's really nice too, because like, it also means that like, you know, if Steph's having a slow month, then like, she doesn't have to feel like she's not contributing because she's still like helping with housework and stuff. And like, same with Lucy. Like, Lucy really likes doing dishes. And like, I fucking hate that shit. Like, or if there's like a month where like I have to take a bunch of time off, which happens to me a lot in October. Or like if I take time off for YetiCon next year, if it's happening, like sometimes I make less in a month. So like, having each other to lean on is like really, really nice. Or like, I might make more money some months, but like, I'm terrible at housework. You can tell by my bedroom, I'm reasonably well organized, but like, actual like recurring, like if I have to bend over, my Potts is not gonna like that, right? Welcome in, Booty Smack. Compulsory evenness is not always fair or in accordance with people's actual needs and preferences. Yeah. And like, it doesn't take into account the fact that like not everybody's circumstances are the same. Like, some people just have access to jobs that make more money because of specific circumstances that's not under anyone's control, right? Like, I have the most consistent income out of everybody because like I have like my job on the weekend is incredibly consistent. So like, when other people are slow, I make the most, but I also have kind of an upper limit that I never make more than a certain amount, really. So like, I have a narrower window. Give or take. But yeah, it's nice to just be like, okay, this is where we're all at. Also, I get a free cat out of the experience, and I should also show you, I have another bonus pet. Hi, Lucy! How'd the flight go? How did... I woke up when you guys left this morning. Like, I half woke up. I was like, I could hear you guys walking through my room. And I'm like, all right, cool. But I hope the flight went safe. Kids sitting behind us? Yeah. That can be a little overwhelming. It depends on the kids, but yes, let me show you all. We have a new friend. I'm gonna have to turn the big light on. I'm sorry to all the fellow Tylenol enjoyers in chat. But we have Victoria, and we have Bonus Snack. We have Bonus Snack. Let me see. You can't... I don't know if you can see them. Hi, Scooter. Hello. He's there. It's interesting too because he's actually awake during the day, which Victoria is not. Victoria doesn't awake, but he's behind that plant. He's right there. You can't really see him though. But yes, we have bonus pets. We have bonus animals now. Here, let me remove the big light. Show them the Scoot. The Scoot is the best. I can't really move my camera because it's plugged into my laptop. Actually. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, Lucy and I couldn't make it either because we had a bunch of moving stuff to do. Yeah. Yeah. I forgot I could just do this on my phone. Okay. So you can see, oh, there he is. There he is. There's our little hawk nose. Hello, Scooter. Hello, little Scoot Scoot. Look at him. Look at him. He's a little baby. Also, Lucy, you'll be really excited to know he hasn't hissed at me a single time. Not even once. Look at him. He's a little man. He's a long little man. He's in there. He's in there. Here. He's in there. But yeah, look how empty my room is. Look how empty. It's just boxes. It's just boxes. It's just boxes everywhere. Chat, look! Look, it's you!
Just resubscribed.
Thank you, Pie! Snack! Thank you, Pie. I appreciate it. Chat, look, it's you! Look, it's you! It's you! And it's me! And it's you! And it's me! And it's you! Here, let me switch back over to the other version. I forgot I just have another camera. You're looking good today? Yeah, you're looking nice and tall. I forgot I could just do that whenever. Thank you for the resubscribe. 41 months, Jesus Christ. We are looking goof. We're looking so goof. We're looking goof troop. Let me add that to the chat Hall of Fame. It sounded fine. It should be switching to the phone. It sounds fine, but part of that's because, my fucking... Crap. There's not, like, noise. There we go. Lucy, you're getting added to the stream Hall of Fame. But because, like, I feel like my phone audio is fine as a mic in the house. But, or it might have kept the regular mic. I don't know. Here. Yes. Yes. Oh yeah, that's just my phone. So yeah, it is just my phone mic for that. Good to know the audio is good on my phone. I just feel like it wouldn't be great necessarily like in a noisy crowd or if it's like windy. But ooh, chat, I've been doing some thinky thoughts. Instead of talking to it, because yeah, it's like right here. Thanks for the meow, Lucy. But yes, I've been thinking, why is there a sock in my bed? I've been thinking about how to do the IRL setup. I do still need to try and figure out if I can get that camera to work, just because the lens gives good image stabilization. However, I do have GoPros, so I can see if that works, because that would be lighter, because that camera is really fucking heavy for me to carry around. So I think having a lighter camera might be good. So I might just, when we move, I might see if I can get the GoPros working. Because that might just be easier. And then I can just see if I can plug that mic into the GoPro.
Meow, bitch!
Jesus Christ, thanks, Lucy. Thanks for the meow plier. So we'll see if I can get the GoPro working. And if so, if I can get a mic on it. Meow, bitch. Meow, bitch. And then if that works, we can start IRL streaming again. If it works, but the image is like really bouncy, like it should be okay. Like y'all have to let me know. If like the image is making you dizzy because of me walking around. I guess if it's on a tripod, then at least my arm can be sort of a pseudo gimbal. But we'll see. If not, I also have a potential option in mind for a bonus camera for stream stuff, so that camera can just be a photo camera and like an away camera, so that I don't have to keep swapping my setup constantly every time we have photo shoots. It's taking a while to get off the plane? Yeah. I mean, you're used to taking a while to get off though, right? And the worst. I enjoy the things that I say sometimes. Also, chat, I need you to know, first of all, how dare you? First of all, chat, I'm on the extra strength. I do laugh really hard. I'm on the extra strength. It's nice to not be in a rush to get off sometimes. That is true. But I'm on that extra strength. I take my Tylenol every morning to make sure that I maintain my tism. I'm on that no, you know? I'm on the fen. The fucking idea that, yeah, it's a maintenance dose. I do the vaccines to, level up my autism every fall. Speaking of, make sure you get your flu and COVID shots this fall. But I do maintenance doses of extra strength Tylenol for my extra strength tism. The idea that Tylenol fucking causes autism makes me want to fucking scream. Let's just put it this way. Correlation does not equal causation. This study they cited is one single study. Does not prove anything. And also, like, I could have told you there was a correlation between autism and pregnant women in pain. Do you want to know how I can do that? It's called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is genetic and causes autism. Like, everyone I know with EDS is neurodivergent, has either autism or ADHD or both, usually both, and it's autosomal dominant. So the odds are, if you have EDS, you have autism, your mom has autism, your mom has EDS, and she was in more pain during pregnancy because the pregnancy hormones make EDS worse. Because progesterone makes everything all floppy. Like, obviously. But that doesn't mean that Tylenol causes autism. That just means that autistic mothers are more likely to also have EDS and therefore be in pain while they're pregnant and then give birth to also neurodivergent children because autism's genetic. Duh. Anyway, also, Tylenol is one of the only, I think it's one of the only painkillers that are approved for use by pregnant women because the other options are worse. So this just works as a way to punish pregnant women and further control pregnant women and criminalize them for endangering their fetus for doing basic shit like not being in extreme suffering. And also if they end up having a fever, the Tylenol helps treat the fever, which protects the fetus, because if a fucking pregnant woman has a deadly fever, that's not going to be good for her or the baby. There isn't even a correlation, frankly. If autism predates Tylenol, it's not the Tylenol. Well, there is still a correlation. It doesn't mean causation. It does mean that you are more likely to need Tylenol to get through pregnancy if you are autistic for a variety of reasons. Autism does predate Tylenol coming to... I mean, it depends on how you... There's a correlation to pain, not to Tylenol. Yes, but then there is a correlation between pain and Tylenol, right? It's also like what came first, us using acetaminophen to treat pain, or the verbalized diagnosis and understanding of autism. Because acetaminophen is naturally occurring and people have been using like willow bark and stuff for pain. So like, I don't think it matters which came first. I mean, I believe you're right that before Tylenol was being officially prescribed as a medication in North America, autism was already a existing diagnosis. But I don't think it matters. And also at the end of the day, if Tylenol caused autism, there would be more autistic people. Because most people take Tylenol. And now, like, I just don't think that... And then again, even if Tylenol did cause autism, I would still be taking it. It wasn't approved till the 60s, yeah. But, like, autism's not a problem to solve, so even if Tylenol was causing autism, autism's not a problem. So, like, I don't care. And, like, if the choice is between your kid is autistic or you miscarry because you're going through an intense fever and you need to take Tylenol to treat, like, fucking take your pain management. Who cares if your kid's autistic? Speaking as an autistic person who, like, literally had to mute stream so I could go tell my partner to leave the bathroom and stop doing, like, packing stuff right next, and I had to put headphones on because she's packing right next to me, and it's overwhelming me. It's not like I'm not affected by autism. It has its downsides. I have to keep closing my window because there's people keep setting off their car alarms, and it bothers me. Sure, there's downsides to it. But, like, there's downsides to being tall. People who are tall hit their heads on things more often, and it's actually correlated with more health problems because your heart has to pump harder. It's harder to get clothes, it's harder to get shoes. You don't fit in planes or cars. Like, there are massive downsides to being tall. But we don't treat being tall like a problem to solve. We don't go around chopping people's legs off to make them shorter. In fact, we treat men being tall and people being tall as a goal to achieve, even though it has massive negative drawbacks, including basic health problems. Or like everything has drawbacks. Having blue eyes fucking has drawbacks. I can't see in the sun. I'm extremely photosensitive. Like, I'm more likely to look unnerving because our eyes kind of look funny and it makes our facial expressions more intense. So it has negative social effects as well. Like, blue eyes are correlated with photosensitivity and actual health problems. And photosensitivity can cause migraines. Like, we have actual problems, and yet blue-eyed, like, is considered this ideal to achieve because it's associated with whiteness. But, like, it's not. There are drawbacks to having blue eyes. There are drawbacks to having blonde hair. Like, there's costs and benefits to fucking everything. But, like, being autistic, damn if I'm not fucking organized. I'm really good at noticing patterns. Like, I do credit my autism with my complete lack of social pressure to keep my mouth shut when someone's being a piece of shit. I will just fully say it. If someone's being a bigot or an abuser, I'll just say it. Because I don't follow social scripts. I just have my own values. Autistic people are more likely to have consistent values both when they are seen and when they're not being observed. Like, if you're being observed and not observed, autistic people's values tend to remain consistent. Sometimes consistently shitty, but very consistent. Whereas, like, holistic people sometimes can have, they'll behave differently when someone's watching them versus when they're not. And there's pluses and there's benefits and downsides to that, right? Like, if you have good values, that's good. If you have negative values, that's bad. Having some level of social shame to stop you from acting like a dickhead around people is probably a good thing. Like, there's so many costs and benefits to fucking everything. So I don't consider autism a problem to solve. And anyone who believes otherwise is a eugenicist piece of shit, and you have more in common with the fascists in the White House than you do with me. Be mad about it. Welcome in, Cat. Yes. Also, in other medical news that's related to autism, actually, there has been a study that came out that shows that there is a correlation between being trans and having Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. Oh, fuck yeah, Cat. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. But yeah, there's an association with transness and EDS. And Salt pointed out when I posted the article this morning, pointed out that this is something I've been saying since 2017. Because you want to know what the connection between transness and Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is? Autism. It's not that shocking, but I'm glad at the science. Yeah. the thing is, it's not shocking. It's something I already knew, but you do have to prove it, right? You do actually have to have statistical data to point to prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt. Yes. But also, I fucking knew it. I'm glad you feel better, but Kat, you can tell when you live it. Yeah, and like when you're in these communities, you'll notice it. But you still need science to like double check. Or you need the basis of having that understanding before you can figure out why. My dumb ass finally set an appointment with an RMT. Yay! RMT for everybody! I promise y'all, it helps so fucking much. If you're having like muscle issues, RMTs are godsends. I can swear by it. And like, I specifically hunted for an RMT who just does like physiotherapy and RMT and does not do like Reiki or energy healing or any of that shit. Yeah, exactly, Pine. But people with EDS, there's long-standing research associating hypermobility with autism. Sometimes you're gonna be elbow dropped in the sun. Yes. I hate setting up appointments. That's fair. I will say a lot of places now allow online appointment making or texting rather than calling, and I find that way more accessible. Or if I'm like once I've made one appointment, being able to make my follow-up appointment when I'm at the desk, like paying, it's easier for me to book up a follow-up appointment when I'm physically there. But yeah, so people with hypermobility are more likely to be autistic and vice versa. They're very heavily comorbid. The mechanism behind that is not widely understood yet. Oh my god, Pint. There's some research into it, but it's not conclusive as to why these are so heavily correlated. And being trans and being autistic is widely common too. Yes, and my theory for why, and there's at least one study that has been done on this that suggests this might be the mechanism for why, but also it's hard to say. But my theory is that autistic people aren't actually more likely to be trans, they're more likely to realize they're trans. Oh yeah, fully, Pint. Until I worked on phones for a really long time, it used to take me days to make phone calls. I'd have to hype myself up for hours on the day of. Like, phone calls for me are really difficult. Sometimes ordering at restaurants, I still I can if I have to, but if I have a partner with me, it's easier to have them do it for me because like talking to people is hard. I say, well, I'm talking to people. This is different though. But yeah, I'm pretty sure autistic people aren't actually more likely to be trans, but they're more likely to say something. Yeah, the disregard of social cues. Like, I feel like when we don't follow social scripts, we being autistic people, because like we don't innately grasp it because we don't do like synaptic pruning as thoroughly as holistic people do. So I'm feeling like there's more connections in our brain, and because we have more connections, some of which are superfluous, some that aren't. But we have more connections in our brain, which means our brains have to sort through more things, which means we need, basically we have too much data and we need to algorithmically sort it. So we need logical rules in order to comprehend what's happening because we're dealing with more information than non-autistic people. Holistic people are sorting through a smaller data set, so they can kind of gut instinct because a smaller data set means that you can more easily intuit what you're supposed to do, whereas with a broader set of data, it's harder to sort through and it can be very overwhelming. So my understanding is that we struggle with social cues because we can't intuit what we're supposed to do because we have too much data to sort through. Yeah. So it means any social thing, even social constructions like race, for example, and gender, we don't intuitively understand them. So we need them to be logically explained so that we can algorithmically sort the data in order to make sense. We are very, very computer. So gender is socially constructed. It is a performance. It's difficult to logically explain, so a lot of autistic people do not understand it. Including a lot of autistic people who would identify as cis and not as trans. A lot of autistic cis people will say they don't understand gender, but it doesn't cause them enough distress to care. They just don't really identify with their bodies much at all. Because like autism can be correlated with depersonalization and derealization. Some of that I imagine is also associated with EDS, because with EDS we have difficult times with proprioception, and because I can tell where my arm is until it goes hyper. I don't have the biofeedback to know that that and that are different positions. I can't feel the difference. Like here I can feel, and then right about there I lose all proprioception, and this feels the same. Yeah. And chronic pain. But like there's a certain amount of with EDS, because your limbs aren't, like your bones aren't really attached, and you don't have that biofeedback that your brain can't really tell where your limbs are in space. So it means we have a really, really hard time not walking into things, or bumping into things, or dropping things, or spilling things. So it makes it really hard to, if you can't understand your body in relation to space, how can you relate it to social? Like it's hard to feel embodied if you don't know where you are, which can then feed into gender feelings as well. So like it's really hard to separate all of these things out. It's the same thing when people try and say like I'm a low support needs autistic person because I'm verbal, but it's like, am I? Because sometimes I need help showering, sometimes I need help cleaning, sometimes I need help feeding myself a lot. Like if we just go with the feeding example, like I struggle to eat. Is my support needs for eating because of my gastroparesis? Because I don't feel hunger cues like a normal person, so I don't realize I'm hungry until I'm dizzy and can't cook by the point that I'm dizzy and realize that I need to eat? Do I need support cooking because I have POTS and being around a hot stove makes me dizzy and I can't stand and bend over and deal with that? Is it because I have chronic pain and standing on dislocated knees makes cooking difficult? Is it autism because like starting a task because of inertia and like the sensory overwhelm and having to deal with the sensation of being dizzy and in pain is overwhelming? Or it's hard to start is it hard to start because of autism? Is it hard to start because I know it's going to be suffering? It's all of the above, and there's no way to parse out what disability my support needs come from. So claiming that I'm a low support needs autistic person because an outsider has subjectively decided that my support needs are from my physical disabilities and not my autism is wildly subjective and arbitrary. There's no way to know whether I'm having issues doing something from one disability or the other. And I wouldn't, ultimately defining autistics by what they need from other people is silly. Yeah, because it's defining my autism defining it solely on whether I am inconvenient to other people. It has nothing to do with my interior subjective experience, right? Like, I may have low support needs, but if I'm having fucking meltdowns all the time because I'm overwhelmed by sound, sure, I might not need help. Like, I can work a job, sure, but that doesn't mean that I'm not like I'm very particular about what I can and can't wear. Like like, it really, a lot of times with, like, separating autistic people into support needs, and, like, I know there are some people who will be like, oh, low support needs autistic, speak over high support needs because blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you don't know what my life is like. Just because I'm verbal sometimes doesn't mean that you understand what I'm actually dealing with. And there have been times in my life where I've been nonverbal the majority of the time, where I've struggled to make phone calls, where I've struggled to hold a job, where I was having meltdowns frequently, where I've had the cops called on me for a wellness check over a meltdown. Not that it was an actual wellness check, it was neighbors weaponizing the cops to get me to shut up, but it's very focused on how external society and caretakers engage with us. Yeah. And, like, imagine if we just find physical disabilities that way. Like, we kind of do, but we kind of don't. Like, like, we do a little bit less, yeah. You don't look sick. Yeah. That said, though, like, I have this very unique experience of, like, I am recognized by other people to be extremely physically disabled. By virtue of, like, if I just bend my knees sideways, people freak out. And they can visually tell something's fucking wrong with me. But I don't often need a lot of external help with my physical, at least with the bone stuff, because I've damaged my nerves to the point where I don't feel pain anymore, and I have a really high pain tolerance besides. So, like, a lot of times I'm like, people will be like, do you need help? Are you good? And I'm like, I'm fine. As my knee is, like, bent off in some other fucking postal code. Like, I have this very interesting experience of people being able to recognize that I am disabled while not needing very much help with it. Same with my POTS, where, like, sometimes I'll show people my heart rate, right? Like, I did that on stream in the summer. I showed you my heart rate spiking up to, like, 120, 130 when I was outside. And it's like, yeah, I'm incredibly dizzy and uncomfortable. And, like, I'm on beta blockers to cope with that. And if I'm not on beta blockers, I can't fucking breathe. And you can visibly see me, like, panting and heaving for air. But I don't ask people for help. Like, it doesn't mean that my experience is less disabling. It just means that I'm coping with it. Or pushing myself. One of the two. But, like, it's like when I go to the ER and it's like, you know, I went to the ER with appendicitis, and it's like, it doesn't make my appendicitis not severe just because I went in and went, yeah, I'm fine. I have appendicitis. Like, just because I'm not expressing pain, fuck the ER. Well, yeah. But I will say the ER did take my appendicitis seriously. I think that's because it was 2 weeks after another abdominal surgery, so they kind of had to. But, like, I went in with classical symptoms of appendicitis. I could feel pain, right? But I'm going in and I'm not doubled over in pain. I'm not crying. I'm just like, yeah, by the way, I have appendicitis, I'm pretty sure. And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, you know, you push here, and when you let go, I get rebound pain, and it hurts on this side when you poke it, which is not, yeah, I've got, like, referred pain. Very classic appendicitis symptoms. It doesn't mean my appendicitis is less bad just because my pain tolerance is higher. Like, that's the thing that happens with me all the time, where people try and say that my disabilities aren't that bad because I'm not in pain. And I'm like, no, my disabilities are bad. I'm just fine. I'm used to it. And, like, we could have the argument all day over, is my EDS worse than someone else's? Because my bones are more... There are so many people with EDS I've met, and I'm not going to say I'm more disabled than them, but I'm more hypermobile than they are. Like, all of my joints are wildly hypermobile. And and I'm also not making this claim out of nowhere. Like, I've had other people with EDS tell me that, like, who are diagnosed with EDS, that are like, being around you makes me feel like I'm not hypermobile because your joints are so fucking wild. To the point where, like, we didn't bother to go through the testing for it, but there's a potentiality that I have a rarer form of extra hypermobile EDS. But there's just no point in testing for it because it ultimately doesn't matter. But, like, I'm extremely hypermobile. Does that make me more disabled? Not necessarily, because I also have, I've looped around in hypermobile to the point that, like, it doesn't hurt when I dislocate things. The way that other people with EDS experience pain with every dislocation, I can dislocate my knee and I don't feel anything. I feel nothing. I dislocate my ankle every night when I sleep. Every single day, my left ankle dislocates. Am I more or less disabled than my sister, who also has EDS? For whom her ankle dislocates and it hurts. It dislocates less often than mine, but it hurts. It's supposed to hurt. EDS is why it doesn't hurt. So it depends, right? So, like, EDS means it hurts less sometimes. Like, it hurts less than a non-EDS person in that, like, I guess, as an example, when I dislocated my left knee for the first time, when I was, like, 14, I screamed. It hurt so fucking bad. I screamed and cried. But unlike non-EDS people I've seen who dislocated their knee, they screamed and cried, like, they screamed when it happened, and then they howled and cried and couldn't get up. I screamed, cried quietly, and then got up and walked around on it. In like 10 minutes, I got up. I was fine. The quick recovery, that's not normal. And then the fact that I've dislocated it now so many times now, it doesn't hurt at all. Like, when I first started dislocating a joint, it hurts. And then eventually it gets to a point it stops hurting. Because your tendons stretch out, your joint accommodates to it doing that all the time. My muscles get used to it. I get used to it. When I sprained my MCL last September, I didn't feel any pain. I felt sort of a twisting internal sense of wrongness because something happened that my body was like, whatever swelling was happening in my tendon or my ligament was being referred to my brain, but none of the pain nerves said anything because they're dead. I can't feel pain in my knee anymore. Like, really at all. Like, some surface level, small levels of pain, but like deep in the joint, there's nothing. Yeah. But like, am I more or less disabled because it doesn't hurt? Like, I don't think you can really classify disabilities easily that way because they're so subjective. Like, the pain part is so nuanced and subjective. Or like, there's been an entire discourse on TikTok recently in the disability community about the disability hierarchy, and it just makes me so upset. Not that I don't think there's some utility in saying some people are more or less disabled than others. Like, I obviously understand that someone with a double above the knee amputation is more disabled than someone who's just amputated a single pinky. Like, obviously. Or like, I know some people with POTS who have worse POTS than me because like their resting heart rate without medication is like 200 and mine's, even when I'm hot, like my record is 180. I'm not hitting 200 consistently. Usually I hit like 140 in the summer if I'm not medicated. Like, that's obviously different. Like, I understand my POTS is not that bad. And when it's not hot, my POTS is completely manageable without medication. Like, I get a little dizzy, but like I can breathe and function. Like, I do understand that there's a scale of disability. For me, that's just the hierarchy going around that places physical disabilities as the least marginalized makes me want to fucking scream. More or less disabled has less to do with the actual physical state, more with the level of management and support that you have. I would disagree with that in like a nuanced way. I do think that there's an intersection with class to where if you have class privilege that can offset some of your disability oppression, and even if you have a milder disability, if you are homeless, there's a level of how that intersects and interacts. Though I will say, like, someone with the exact level, my exact experience in the United States would be more disabling because I wouldn't have access to anything, right? I wouldn't have access to the medicine that stopped me from getting worse, so I would have continued to get worse, right? Yeah, and disability is a social construct too, yeah. Because, like, are people who wear glasses disabled? Depends on the prescription, right? Because there's a point where someone's now legally blind and they count as disabled. But if you just need reading glasses, you don't count as disabled. People don't think of it that way. There's no social stigma. It's reasonably accommodated for. You can get low prescription reading glasses from the fucking gas station. Like, it does intersect with financial privilege to a certain degree because you do have to buy them, but comparing oppressions in that way can be a real slippery slope. I think it's one thing to have an intersectional perspective reading of realities, but I've seen people literally invalidate other people's disabilities because they're not suffering enough. Yeah. Yeah. Like, for me, the way that, I guess to compare it to something that I think makes more sense is there's a hierarchy, right? So for sex workers, right, there's a hierarchy of experiences of oppression. And the reason it's fair to compare sex workers' levels of oppression is because it's within the same axis of oppression. So, and it's comparing people's experience of criminalization and stigma, which is a measurable thing, right? So at the top of the pyramid, you'll have, like, people who work in socially acceptable kinds of sex work. So you're like Victoria's Secret models. There are lingerie models, like people who do boudoir photography. Basically, anyone who does on-screen stuff that's suggestive but not necessarily outright sexual, right? On camera. And then I would say within that is basically how are you working for a legitimate company or independently will also affect that. But basically up here, you've got, you know, people who sell sexuality without selling sex. Then around here, you've got, like on camera, but you're doing sex. I would say like porn performers and cam girls, OnlyFans creators, usually sit around here where there's some level of it's legal. There's less social stigma. There's still some, obviously. There's still like whorephobia that you will face, but it's less. And I would also put like the one right below that would be like strippers and like go-go dancers and that sort of thing, burlesque. I feel like these two can kind of flip-flop depending on context. It depends on if the in-person stuff or the level of sexuality ends up winning out. Like, is it more explicit so it's more stigmatized? Or is it more in-person so it's more stigmatized? Those kind of sit next to each other in my head. I think after that would be like massage workers who are doing in-person, physically interacting with clients, but aren't necessarily having full intercourse, and like fetish workers. So you're interacting with clients physically, but you're not actually having intercourse with them, are usually in this tier. It's like in person, but not full sex. You're not doing full service sex work. Though massage can be heavily complicated by immigration status. So I'm not saying that everyone below massage workers are automatically less privileged than a massage worker. It's just if all other identities are equal, right? If you are a massage worker who is criminalized on the status of immigration, you are going to face more stigma than a white citizen working the same job. Below that would be where I sit, in-person sex workers who do full service but work indoors, where you have a level of privilege and safety to where you can work indoors. And there's stratification in there based on your rates and your relative level of class privilege and support. If you can work independently, you're probably more, like if you're working independently, you're probably more privileged than people who have to work for an agency. Give or take, because there are some people who have to work independently because they can't get hired at an agency. Like a lot of Black sex workers can't get hired at agencies because we already have one. Or someone like me who's non-binary, I'm not going to get hired at an agency. And then at the very bottom is in-person outdoor sex workers who have to who basically get picked up in cars and curb crawl. Yes, Kat. If we have one Black girl, why do we need another one? Is the same thing with bigger girls, trans women. Yeah. And that's even if they'll hire a trans woman or a person of color in the first fucking place. Yeah. But like there's obviously within each tier, there's levels of nuance, but I don't think controversial to say that an in-person, even indoor sex worker faces criminalization and stigma that like a stripper will never face, or that a like Victoria's Secret or La Senza model will never face, or that a cam girl will never face, right? There's a level of physical risk and stigma that, and like I've done both. Like I've done camming, I've done OnlyFans, I've done in-person, I've done fetish work before. Like I've been through that entire level from bottom to near the top, and I can, from experience, express how the stigma is and criminalization and physical risk is wildly different in these different structures, right? Whereas the disability hierarchy, there's too much variation between each sector, beyond just like intersections. Like, yes, there's a difference between white massage workers and racialized massage workers. There are intersections with other axes of oppression, but you're not going to have the thing with sex work. The amount of variation between each category is much smaller than within disability. Like the disability hierarchy pyramid diagram that's been going around puts physical disability at the top as the least affected by ableism. And frankly, no. Just objectively, no. Yeah. There's straight up in a graphic going around that puts that at the top. And then I think it's like at the bottom, I think is like mental illness. And speaking of someone who has experience with like every kind of like, let me try and see if I can find the one that's been going around, because I'm like objectively no. Yeah. So this is from like a thing. Yeah, let me just, you're gonna get some weird shit. I see this man. This is like a full thing that people have been arguing in favor of on TikTok and online as well. This thing. Objectively, no. Just objectively, no. Because if you have physical up here, so stigma and ableism. Okay, physical disability faces the least stigma and ableism, then chronic illness, then learning disabilities, then sensory, cognitive, neurodevelopmental, intellectual, psychiatric. Okay. No. Exceptions. Visible physical abnormalities, especially facial, HIV, AIDS, also within category differences, ADHD and autism, anxiety and schizophrenia. Yeah, within category differences is the entire reason this doesn't make any fucking sense. It just doesn't. Because let me go through all of the disabilities that I have. EDS, POTS, gastroparesis, autism. Also, if that just means like deaf-blind, I do have visual problems. I am extremely visually photosensitive to the point where sometimes I can't see outside. Autism, PTSD, depression, and I've had psychosis before. Let me tell you, putting major depression down here doesn't make sense. Fuck off. Depression? No. The stigma and ableism faced by people with just major depression is real. It's not more than autism. It's not more than fucking POTS. The fact that I was literally reading through the there was a Reddit post about the trans and EDS paper this morning that I was reading, and it was saying there was just floods of physicians in there saying like, oh, well, that makes sense because trans and EDS are both social contagions and somatic. They're basically diagnosing people with EDS as having hysteria and self-diagnosing with shit just for attention. And saying like, well, that's why they keep coming to us with POTS, because it's somatic. Objectively, no. Yeah. It's fucking not. And the thing is, like, I get that there is a difference in the ableism faced for different conditions, right? There's different levels of stigma. But, yeah, hi, ABS. Yeah, sorry, I'm on the one screen, so I have what I have. But, like, let's put it this way, right? I would posit... It's not a fucking race, though, yeah. And I would posit that, like, there are differences in ableism faced by different groups that are significant enough to be socially worth discussing, right? Like the difference in how like war vet paraplegics are treated, where they get to tour schools and give inspirational speeches, and the way that that's treated versus, like, you know, sticking within physical disability, someone with facial differences, or someone with like EDS. Like ambulatory wheelchair users are not treated the same, or like cerebral palsy, or like with psychiatric disorders. The difference between someone with depression or anxiety, the stigma that those face, versus someone with schizophrenia, psychosis, cluster B personality disorders. I promise you, this stigma that I face for discussing insomnia, psychosis, and because mine was caused by insomnia and it's not like a constant problem, I face less stigma than people who have constant psychosis. There's so much fear in discussing psychotic conditions versus, like, people can just say they have anxiety. Fucking a lot of people have anxiety. That's fine. When people do like the Bell Let's Talk thing about like mental health disorders, depression and anxiety are talked about. And every year someone has to go like, this always normalizes the mental health conditions that are already normalized and already fairly destigmatized. Yeah, schizophrenia or NPD or antisocial personality disorder, like narcissists and people with and sociopaths are treated like shit, or BPD even. And it's like, I know and love people with most of these conditions. I've helped people with schizophrenia before. I know people with psychosis. I've experienced psychosis before. Having psychosis doesn't make you a threat to other people necessarily. And psychosis is also, like, what your psychosis manifests as is very culturally influenced, right? So, like, trying to act like psychosis and cluster B personalities and like these situations are treated the same. Yeah, Kat. And like people who actually have BPD, yeah. And treating that like it's the same as, like, if you're gonna compare schizophrenia to below the knee single leg amputations by otherwise able-bodied white dudes who got in a fucking snowboarding accident, yeah, there's a different level of stigma and ableism faced. But if you're, I don't think someone could say to me with a straight face that people with depression, simple depression, not suicidal ideation or anything like that, but just basic major depression with anhedonia, the kind that I suffered in high school. I had some SI, but like, if you're gonna tell me that people with depression existing in public get physically assaulted the way that I do walking around with my cane, I don't know how I can have a productive conversation, right? Like, me walking, I know how differently I get treated in public when I have a cane versus a knee brace, especially a knee brace under a skirt where you can't tell I'm disabled at all, versus, like, sometimes I walk to a store, like, when I'm doing better, I can just walk to a store with no mobility aid and I'm fine because it's close, versus being out in public alone in a wheelchair, or even with people in a wheelchair. Like Kat, Jack can tell you about the time someone, like, Jack might have been there for that one, where someone threatened to make me need my wheelchair. Or Mara was out with me grocery shopping once, and a little old lady told me that I'm so brave because if she were me, she'd kill herself because I was out in my wheelchair. The amount that MAID is pushed on physically disabled people is absurd. And there'll be people who are like, oh, well, it's bad that's being, like, expanded to people with mental health disorders, but, like, it makes sense for people with chronic pain. Like, they'd be better off not suffering. What? Like, yeah. Like, it was bad before that, but it's fucking worse now. Once MAID got legalized, now you actually get pressured by actual doctors. I mean, that you kind of were before. Like, I have friends with cerebral palsy who got pressured to choose MAID before they, like, they're not terminal, they're fine. They got assessed as having a poor quality of life and then offered MAID without them asking for it. They're married and happy. They just need support. So, like, you trying to tell me that people with cerebral palsy and like wheelchair users being offered MAID and being told to kill themselves by the general public don't face significant stigma and ableism? But people with anxiety do? More? Huh? Like, I'm not saying people with anxiety don't face stigma and ableism. They do. But if you're gonna try and argue that it's significantly worse than people who are visibly disabled, like visibly physically disabled existing in public, like, I'm sorry, I've never had someone physically throw me and shove me and assault me because I have depression. Ever. Not a single time in my life has that ever happened. And then, okay, so like people might point to, like involuntary institutionalization for mental health disorders, right? You can be involuntarily locked up and criminalized for having mental health issues. Even for depression, like if you claim that you have thoughts of self-harm, you can be locked away and institutionalized against your will. I agree that's bad, and I agree that's ableism. But people with, and psych is actively hostile, yeah. But that can also happen to you if you're autistic, and that's not a psychiatric disorder. That's mid-range in that tier, right? You can also be criminalized for being deaf. There are people who have been shot by cops for not cooperating because they're deaf. But guess what else? Guess what fucking else? If you can't cooperate with police because you have EDS and you cannot bend your joints the way that they want to, or they're moving you and they're dislocating every bone in your body and you're reacting out of pain, you can be locked up too. You can be locked in treatment for physical health issues in physical health hospitals. You can be locked up for chronic illness. You can have chronic illness falsely diagnosed as psychiatric and then locked up. Like, I have had the cops called on me for being autistic. Like, hello? I've also had people threaten to call the cops on me because of physical issues too. Because I wasn't moving out of their way fast enough, or I wasn't doing a thing they wanted me to do. Like, physical and mental health is not actually different. Like, sometimes it can present differently. So if I was going to express a disability hierarchy, it wouldn't be in separating them out between kinds of disabilities like that, right? Because like someone who's blind but doesn't have like a cane is not going to face the same discrimination as someone with a cane. Someone who's deaf with a cochlear implant versus someone who doesn't is going to have a very different experience. Someone who's autistic having a meltdown in public, who's nonverbal, who is like struggling, is going to face very different issues than me, barring the times where I have meltdowns in public, right? Like, people with physical disabilities, do you have EDS but you're walking around without a mobility aid? Are you someone with cerebral palsy in a power chair? Like, how your physical disability presents is going to wildly change how you're treated in public. And I also don't like the idea of treating any disability like it's not physical, because it is. Just because my issue is with my brain doesn't mean it's not physical. Yeah, it just feels like support needs again. If I was actually going to have a discussion about ableism and stigma and how it differs for different experiences within the disabled community, I would not have it about type of disability, but about visible and invisible. Because I think that makes more sense. And I wouldn't necessarily say some face more, just different, and it would be a spectrum, not a binary. Because things can be both visible and invisible depending on who's looking, right? So I would say visibly disabled people, whether you're visibly showing signs of, like, visible, I guess, if I would define that as clockable by the public and recognizable. If you can be clocked as disabled in public, then you're going to face certain kinds of stigma that you won't if you're invisibly disabled. And I think that makes it more clear that it's not necessarily about your support needs either, because if you are a wheelchair user, even if you're completely independent, there's a clockable sign of disability that people are going to notice and then offer you MAID or tell you fucked up shit. Oh, thank you.
Jonka
Thank you.
gifted 1 subscriptions to the community.
Thank you for the gift sub, Jonka. Thank you for the gift sub to Okairi. I appreciate it so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hell yeah. Okairi, enjoy the emotes and yeah, an ad-free viewing experience. But yeah, if I was gonna separate it out, it would be visible versus invisible, or clockable versus covert. Because yes. So for me, I would say when I'm more visibly disabled or more clockably disabled, right? If I'm in a wheelchair, I get, like, people are really fucking helpful. Sometimes in a way that's infantilizing and shitty, and they treat me like I'm, like, they'll help me do things, but sometimes without asking. Yeah, and I appreciate you joining in. Thank you for the chat, Jonka. I appreciate it. But yeah, like, I definitely face different experiences when people can tell that I'm disabled. Or like, if my autism is more clockable, where people can tell that there's an obvious difference, like when I'm having a meltdown, or I'm actively stimming, or I'm an adult clutching a plushie because I'm overstimulated, or I'm playing with a stim toy or something. Like, if I'm stimming or doing something very obviously autistic in public, I get treated differently than when I'm not. And there's a spectrum, right? Because, like, when I'm in a wheelchair, people will say really fucked up shit to me, but, like, if I need help getting on the streetcar, like TTC drivers are much more helpful if I'm in a wheelchair than when I'm with a cane. Sometimes when I'm with a cane, like, they won't even kneel the bus for me. And when I'm with a cane, I get more seats than if I don't have a cane. I get access to supports that I wouldn't otherwise, but I get physically assaulted more. Like, the amount of sidewalk chicken I have to play holding a cane versus not holding a cane is insane. I get physically assaulted almost every time I go out in public with holding a cane. It's less now than it used to be because I'm older and I'm more confident and I will just fucking shove people off of me, or I hold myself different, which helps. But when you're in pain, you can't always do that, right? Or like, thank you for the follow, I appreciate it. But yeah, like, this stigma I face is more overt. Or like with my POTS, like if I'm existing with POTS and the only outward experience is that sometimes I like stare off into the middle distance, I don't get the same grace that I do when I'm like actively panting because I'm fucking dying. People are a lot more understandable, but they will also, basically, they are confronted with whatever their opinion of disability is. They're confronted with it. So they'll either treat you like shit, be really infantilizing, or some people are very helpful. But you are immediately confronted with whatever they feel about disability because they are now confronted with it, right? And that can track for psychiatric disabilities as well. If I'm experiencing psychosis, and my experience of psychosis is I'm seeing like weird black shadows in the corner of my eye, and I'm otherwise not reacting because I know what's happening to me, and I know I just need to sleep more, which happened earlier this summer. I started having minor psychosis symptoms again because I wasn't sleeping. So, okay, if I'm having that experience, I'm not clockably psychotic. But if I'm speaking out loud to myself and visibly talking to someone who's not there or reacting to things that aren't there, people are now going to go, oh, something's up, right? Clockably disabled people, no matter whether it's sensory or psychiatric or developmental or whatever, that's going to have a level of stigma that and confronted ableism that you're not going to get invisibly. But invisible disabilities have the problem of being disbelieved, lacking access to resources. Like when I don't have my cane, I can't get seats on the bus. Even if I'm visibly limping, if I don't, half the time I bring my cane out, it's not even really because I need it for walking. It's a visual signal to other people that I'm disabled so I can get the support that I need. People are way more understanding about letting me on disabled elevators, like accessibility elevators if I have a cane than when I don't, especially because I look younger. God, when I was a teenager, it was fucking impossible. And I get believed more when I tell people that I have health issues. I get believed more because there's these visible signs of clockable disability. Whereas before I'd get disbelieved a lot, I wouldn't be able to get support like people who are more invisibly disabled and less clockably disabled are going to have a harder time getting access to ODSP and disability support payments and stuff like that. This is a better way to discuss intersectionality. Yeah, well, I feel like this gets at the root of what causes the stigma, because I feel like this feels more true to my experience of having multiple kinds of disabilities. And then there's also the middle of why, like, I have EDS and I might be clockable in some ways and not in other ways. Like, I have a hard time accessing, like, ODSP. Like, now I just can't because I make too much money. But, like, there's that mushy middle ground where you're clockable sometimes and not always. And I feel like it tracks to, like, transness, too, where people who pass as the gender they're trying to pass as, or who just passes whatever gender they started as, that just don't seem clockably trans. You just pass as whatever gender. You pass as one of the two, right? You are going to face, I guess, different stigma from each other, because this is more a V, but you're going to face different stigma than someone who's visibly trans, right? Like, before top surgery, I didn't face any transphobia at all. Now, with top surgery, I do get weird questions sometimes. Yeah. I get weird questions now that I've had top surgery, and there's a level of, like, I'm not super sure, especially if I have my shirt off. But I'm not massively clockably trans. A better way to discuss passing privilege? Yeah, because, like, I feel like it's, if people are confronted with their idea of transness, because so whatever their opinions on transness are going to be verbalized because they're being confronted with the concept. Whereas if you aren't confronting them with it, then they're not really thinking about it, and then you deal with cis heteronormativity. And then there's also the spectrum of, you might be, basically it's a V. You start as, like, passing as your cisgender, to being clockably trans, to passing as your transgender, but there's going to be a pathway through, right? So as you start transitioning, I would say I'm about here. I'm not heavily clockable, but I'm more clockable than if I hadn't transitioned at all, right? And then I think there's a point where you start transitioning enough to where you're here, where sometimes you get clocked, but most of the time you don't, to where you basically never do. But there is still oppression at both of these ends, too, to where if you haven't transitioned at all, especially if you physically can't for medical reasons, you don't get access to being recognized as who you are, and that can be very dysphoria-inducing. And if you are, especially, like, speaking as a trans man, binary passing trans men have a really hard time accessing reproductive health care that they need to not get, cervical cancer and die. Getting access to gynecological care as a trans man is really fucking hard. The more you pass, the more difficult it is, and the more likely you are to die of cervical cancer. That's not a privilege. The feelings being betrayed if you pass, but then are outed. Yeah. I feel strongly that defining privilege by the oppressor still wants you dead, but you might be safe if you disappear is worthless for trans liberation. Yeah. Yeah, and I think hypervisibility versus hyper-invisibility. Yeah. I feel like for liberation, you need those people who are clockable to be safe, because then if you get outed, you're safe. And if you're invisible, people need to be able to just trust you are who you say you are, because then the people who are clockable aren't going to be doubted either. Like, actual proper liberation needs to be liberatory for everyone in that V, right? And for disability, you need people to be believed when they tell you something's wrong with their body, and you need to not treat visibly disabled people like shit. You don't want to expand the realm of people you treat like shit for being disabled, and you don't want to increase the number of people you just treat as if they're expected to behave in a normal way. You don't just shove more people in well, we expect everyone's body to be this way, and now we're expecting more people to, like, no. Both of those are bad. Yeah. True liberation will be good for all of those groups. I do think it's useful to recognize that these experiences are different, because there's different kinds of things that we need to address for actual liberation. For hyper visibly trans people, need to be able to go to a bathroom without getting the shit rocked out of them. And then, like, you know, fully binary passing trans people still need access to reproductive health care and stuff like that. I do feel like binary passing trans people wouldn't be questioned if the non-binary people who can't, or even sometimes binary cis trans people who can't have surgery or can't go on hormones because of medical reasons or financial reasons. They're different, and comparison is useful, but comparison turning into who suffers more means nothing. Yeah. I feel like taking it as they suffer in different ways is more useful, and trying to figure out who wins the pain Olympics is nonsense. Like, I don't really care if someone's EDS and POTS is less bad than mine. Really? The only time I care, that I've ever cared if someone's EDS is less bad than mine, is when they weaponize it as a way to not care about other people. They're like, my EDS is so bad, so I don't have to think about other people's feelings. I'm disabled, so I don't have to be considerate. I'm disabled, so I can't do anything, and you have to do everything for me, and I'm never going to work with you to find a balance that works because you also are a human being with needs. That, now I fucking care, because then I can just go, bitch, I'm more disabled than you, and I can be considerate. That's not an excuse. But I'm not going to be like, I'm more disabled than you in these specific ways, so clearly you're not disabled? No. Or you don't suffer at all? No. I also know my pain tolerance is higher. So your disability might be, quote unquote, less severe than mine, but your suffering might be significantly worse than mine. I can readily admit that there are people with EDS who, like, suffer significantly more than me, even if they're less hypermobile than I am. Even if they have less comorbidities than I do. Because I'm fine. The number of times I see other disabled people get mad at a whole disability group because they don't want to just point out when another disabled person is being ableist. Yes. Yes. The amount of people who just go like, everyone with POTS is just like, or everyone with EDS, because they're both like super popular right now. And I will say, it is notable to me that every time someone points to a disability and says everyone with this disability is so-and-so away in order to attack that disability group rather than addressing a specific individual, every single time it's a disability that's either more commonly diagnosed in women, or they're attacking specifically women with that diagnosis. Because EDS, POTS, like, these things are more commonly diagnosed in women. They affect women more severely because there's hormonal contributions to that. Autism. It's not fucking men with autism that get this shit. It's, oh, all these girls are like going out and self-diagnosing on the internet. Well, yeah, because we can't get diagnosed regularly because of sexism in medicine. Yeah. Men with autism get jobs, yeah. But like there's intersections here, right? And also like I also know that like POC with these conditions get scrutinized more than white people. Like there's levels of intersection here, right? So, and like if you're fucking non-binary and you're trying to self-diagnose with autism, you get treated like fucking bullshit, and it's awful. ODD, yeah. Yeah. ADHD people are all derailing physical disability posts and aren't capable of staying in their lane, buddy. To say that one person is, yeah. Yeah. Like, and the thing is, that assumes that because a person has ADHD, that they only have ADHD and that they don't also have a physical disability. Because the overlap with ADHD/autism with EDS is not every person with ADHD and autism has EDS, but every person with EDS has either ADHD or autism or both. And I'm still convinced that ADHD and autism are the same fucking thing. They're different presentations of the same fucking thing. Yeah, an oppositional defiance disorder to me is just stubborn autism. It's just someone who knows they're right and refuses to back down. Because, like, there are so many times in my life I could have been diagnosed with ODD. Stubborn autism while black, yeah. Most of the time, yeah. Like, it's probably only because I'm white that I haven't been diagnosed with ODD, because I fully just tell doctors they're full of shit sometimes. Especially because, like, when I was trying, like, that decade when I was trying to get my EDS diagnosis, I was reading medical journals daily. Newly disabled people having a ton of internalized ableism being loud is not new or only a mental disability thing. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Newly disabled people, newly anything, right? This is a thing that I was talking about in a TST service I was in on Tuesday. I'm not going to go through the whole service because that was like 2 hours and not relevant to non-Satanists necessarily. But a thing we were talking about was how it's really common. There was like writing by Stephen Bradford Long, who he's a former TST minister. And he was talking about how in Satanism, there are 3 kinds of Satanism. There's reactive or adolescent Satanism, where people start, yeah, absolutely fine. But people come into Satanism in this adolescent reactive way where they just act out and they're just adversarial for the point of being contrarian and for emotional catharsis. A lot of times they're coming to it out of like religious trauma and they're reacting, right? And then there's I can't remember what term he used, but there's like thoughtful Satanism, where now instead of just constantly reacting and doing stuff out of catharsis, you're actually thinking and doing theology and trying to think about your values and apply your values and be more thoughtful. And then there's natural Satanism, where you sort of marry the two, where even when you're emotional, you can be you've thought through your values enough that you can be satanic without having to think about it so hard. I think that's true of a lot of things. With politics, a lot of times people get into politics because they're having an emotional reaction to something. Either it's happened to them or someone they care about has been impacted by this topic. So they're really passionate and having a lot of big cathartic feelings, a bunch of reactive feelings and emotions about something. And they're really loud and really passionate. And it takes some experience to get from the doing the thing to becoming an activist and becoming political, where you're starting to get a better sense of what your goals are and like how you can actually practically do politics in ways that are productive and effective and aren't just cathartic. And then there's, you know, the final stage of you've done enough thinking where you kind of just know how to be effective and come up with your own theories and stuff. Big thing amongst new queer people. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And I think this is the case with any politically affected identity, right? Is because it is the person who's political. People who are new to a disability are having big feelings about it, and that's very understandable. They'll be going through grief, celebration, anger, frustration, joy of having an answer, confusion, this latching on to community that they finally have. Like, there's so many of these big emotions that you have when you're newly disabled that you have to grapple with. And then it takes a while to get to the point where you can start to think through those feelings and start to think externally and internally with more introspection. And then you'll get to a point where, like, you're more comfortable, you don't have to think as hard. And you don't have as big emotional reactions anymore. But, like, I remember getting diagnosed with EDS, how big and emotional I was about it. Especially when I was trying to get diagnosed. I was big emotions all the time. And yeah, I probably spoke over people. It took a while until I, like, dealt with those feelings. That's why you see it less amongst POC, because they generally start in a community that raised them up through those feelings. Yeah, because they've had to deal with that visibly since they were young. And I think also because they don't have, I think there's some of that, and I think also POC aren't given the grace to do it in public, so they can't. Like, even POC who don't have, like, there are mixed folks that don't necessarily have that community, but aren't given the grace to do it publicly, so they just don't. They just have to process in isolation, which is not necessarily healthy. I think it would be better if POC could, like, newly disabled POC could make big, loud mistakes in public and not get ripped apart for it, but they know they can't. And yeah, absolutely, Kat. Like, I think if I was Black and I was making the exact same observations I currently am, I wouldn't be given the grace that I am. The city's been doing something with the water next to my place since the morning. It's this loud, low hum and my brain is screaming at me. Oh, that sounds super overwhelming. Very overstimmy. Yeah, I usually am okay with, like, consistent noises, but there's some hums that are just, like, they're grating this weird, I don't know, weird vibraty bullshit. But yeah, no, that sounds overwhelming. I have that sometimes, like, garbage day fucking overwhelms me to hell. Or my neighbors have been loud. Lucy and Cryptid have been sleeping over here now and then because they've been trying to stay and see Kirby a little bit. And, like, with moving stuff, like, they had all their stuff moved out. Oh god, that's awful. But, like, they've been noticing how loud my neighbors are, and they're... Cryptid was, like, when I first suggested, like, moving together to solve their bad roommate problem, Cryptid was just like, are you sure? I don't want you to, like, push into doing this for our sake. And then Cryptid was here, heard how loud our neighbors went, and went, yeah, if I knew this is how loud they were, I wouldn't have ever questioned why you thought moving was a good idea. I'm like, yeah, and they're better right now than they used to be. Yeah. He was just like, oh, I get it now. It's like, uh-huh. Also, chat, I'm gonna BRB real quick because I need to go to the bathroom. This is a lovely conversation. I'm down to continue it when I get back, but I need to pee. So, one sec. I returned. Also, you did scare me with that dude a little bit because I was walking into the bathroom. Oh, that's nice. Walking distance. I'm dragging my ass to Azura's. Yeah, mine is really great. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes you have to just get the one that you know works. Yeah. That's the problem with certain conditions is we're expensive. We need a level of expertise that is not cheap. Yeah, sorry for the delay in getting back. Steph just wanted to show me we have like the whole kitchen packed now, except for a little bit of food so that I don't die in the next 5 days. Yes. But yeah, I hope my RMT is good for you too. I will say the place that I go, I've had 4 different RMTs there, and they've all been excellent. So, but the one I currently see is effective. I mean, the fact that my hip clicks so much less than it used to, we're making like really solid progress on it. I guess I can give you that update. Like last time I went to the RMT, the knotting in this hip is so bad that when they work on it, like it's knotted and there's scar tissue and everything and there's fused together. So when they worked on it, I can't speak. Like it's challenging for my pain tolerance. But last time we worked on it, I was fine. Like it hurt, but it I could talk the whole time. Extra hands are extra hands. I appreciate it. That's why I asked for the information. Yeah. The tendinitis, if they fuck it up, I will be in DEFCON 1 levels of pain. Yeah. Yeah. She's very skilled. Very deep pressure, though. So just be heads up that if you can't handle extremely deep pressure, you need to tell her. And if you think you can, she will challenge that assumption. She's very good, though. Also, Kat, you still wanted to borrow my wheelchair, yes? Because I haven't measured the actual wheelchair itself, but our doorways are, like the same size as yours or smaller with the molding and stuff. And like sometimes I need to like pull with my hands to get through the doors, but like it goes in. Deep pressure is what I need because I have scar tissue. Gotcha. Because Kat, I don't know if it would be easier for me to bring the wheelchair to you or you to come get it. But tomorrow if you want me to bring it to you, or the weekend if you're gonna come get it from me, also works. Should be all right for a bit now. Okay, no worries then. But then I shall keep it because Lucy might need it at the new house. I just like kind of offered it because if you didn't have one and or needed it, it would have saved me moving it. But like if you have yours is gonna work and you have like other stuff, that should extra wheelchair good. Yes. I mean, I wasn't gonna get rid of it. It comes in handy way too often. Also, I'm dying of temperature, so I'm gonna open my window. Let me know if the noise is terrible. But I'm dying of temperature because I stood up. Yeah. Because we have some help, but we're starting around, like, probably, we get the moving truck at 9 a.m. Well, it's at 8 a.m. We gotta drive it here. So, like, but even if you can't come that early, like, whenever you can stop by, we'll need reinforcements, so. I know mornings are hard for you, because, same. But, like, literally any time after like 9-10 p.m. is fine. Mornings are fake, yeah. And honestly, like if later is better for you too, like we can just have you go to the new house to help unload. Because we'll need hands there. And then you don't have to start as early. Or here, whichever is easier for you to get to, I guess. Message and figure it out. Yeah, I have to kind of like coordinate who's all coming and when, because we'll need one of Steph and I at each house, and then we have a couple people driving, so then we'll need to split other help between each end. Because I already have my, like, my personal trainer. They're gonna be at the new house, so they're away from the snakes. Oh, I appreciate that, cat. I mean, you're not scared of snakes, so actually you being at this house might be better. But, yeah. But we'll message and we'll figure it out. But yeah, I just have to figure out who's doing what and where. But my plan is to be done by 6 p.m. at the latest. So, a little scared of snakes, but manageable. Okay, cool. Because yeah, Steph's mom, you can't even talk about snakes because she'll freak out. And Ren I can talk about them and they can be in the house, but they can't be in the room with them. So we're moving the snakes last. I just can't touch. Yeah, like for removing the snakes, I think Scooter's gonna stay in his terrarium because he's fine with that. We'll just take out anything that, like the water bowl that might hurt him. Victoria, I have to put in a pillowcase and move her by hand because her tank is too big and too heavy. But I will be carrying her. Y'all have two? Yes. Yes. Let me show you. Because pillow snack. Yes, pillow snack. Because Lucy also has one. Lucy also has one. Yeah. Switching to the other cam so you can have Scooter cam. Look at him. Look at him. Look at his little face. Scooter. Look at your little face. Look at that little twist. Look at that little noodle. Very sweet, very cute. And Victoria is wearing her hide as a hat again. She's pretending, you can kind of see her butt. She's pretending to be a turtle again. Because that's how she does. I wish I could cuddle. Hat baby, yes. Hit him. Little hog nose. Oh my god, that big light is evil. Yes, we have a hog nose and we have a ball python, and I'm very pleased. It peeves me, I'm scared of them. Yeah. I mean, it's also one of those things that, like, depending on the level of your phobia, it can be worked through. With like a snake that's like really chill. Because like I wouldn't have you hold Scooter. Because Scooter's a hognose and he will hiss at and try and bite you. Victoria is the most fucking chill. Like, she is scared, but she won't do anything. I tried. Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, they're very cute. But yeah, it's just sometimes the visceral feels like a brain shutoff lever. That's fair. I mean, if you're comfortable looking at them like, the way exposure therapy is supposed to work is not jumping straight to holding a snake if you're scared of snakes. It would be like if you are comfortable looking at, like, you're comfortable looking at them through a screen. So, you're scared of earthworms? Fair. It's because of the squirmy, yeah? It's like the way they move. Gotcha. Gotcha. But yeah, like, usually when I do exposure therapy, it would be, I do it in stages, so it would be like looking at them through a screen, looking at them in person, but they're in their tank, looking at them in person, they're out of their tank, but you're not, they're like across the room, and then, like, you know, touching them is like final stage. But yeah. Yeah. I can get it if you're like freaked out by worms that like snakes would bother you. I do like the heavier bodied ones freak you out less. Yeah. I mean, it's up to you. Like, obviously, it's not something that's like critical. Like, that's the thing too with like phobias and triggers. It's like, is it something that you need to be able to be okay around, or is it something that doesn't matter? Used to have panic from one being in a room. Well, that's definitely better. But yeah, like my elevator phobia, I had to kind of get over that. I'm definitely nervous around some elevators and some physical sensations in elevators. I'm like, ah, but like, I'm disabled. I had to figure out. Also, I live in Toronto. I had to figure out being okay in elevators. Me and yeah, like you in heights, me in elevators. But like me having a PTSD trigger to watching videos of real child abuse, I don't need to be okay with that. I'm good. Me being triggered by leaving my apartment that one time, I needed to get over that. Me being not triggered by seeing the dude who assaulted me? No. Yeah, so like, some triggers and traumas or triggers and phobias are worth going through the effort of exposure therapy to be okay. Because you have to deal with them, or you have to deal with them to a certain degree. Like, getting to the point where you can be in a room with a snake and not freak out, it's probably better for you for safety, just so that if anyone ever happens, you don't freak out and cause a problem that could hurt you. Like, it's much better to react to snakes by being like, that's a snake that I don't know what kind it is, I'm just going to slowly back away, versus like panicking in a way that might panic the snake. Fair cat. But like, if you're never at a point where you can hold a snake, like, that's fine. And also, I will say, snake phobias are evolutionarily sound reactions, because a majority of snake, like, I mean, not a majority of snake species, but there's a lot of very dangerous snake species. And most places that people live have at least one kind of venomous snake that would be dangerous to people. So, like, I get it. For me, it's basically, is it a constrictor? In which case, I'm not particularly concerned. Or, like, little, like, garter snakes or hognose snakes. Like, snakes that are really little. Brain go poison? Yeah. And that's, like, I mean, I have a snake, and sometimes when Victoria holds herself with a certain kind of tension, I'm like, oh, that's strike tension. I'm now nervous. Or, like, when I feed her, like, it's not startling when they go, pow, like, all of a sudden. It's like, it's still fast. Shoelace snack, yes. But, like, I mean, there's a reasonable level of hesitation that is healthy, right? That, if you don't have at all, is probably bad. Like, I would say I have zero hesitation around ball pythons or garter snakes, but a snake, if I don't know what kind of snake it is and I'm not absolutely certain it's non-venomous, like, yeah, I'm gonna be hesitant. I've decided my brain gets upset about the kinship between worms and my stupid limbs because I might as well have fun with it. Woo! Worm limbs! Yeah, worms don't bother me. But, like, I have issue with certain bugs where I just have, like, a visceral response to them, so, like, I do get it. Like, earwigs? Can't. Nope. Nope. Nope, can't. But yeah. Y'all are rad. Have I told you that lately? Y'all are so fun to talk to. And the fact that, Twitch.television is paying me like $1 to sit here is great. Most bugs I have a don't break the contract deal with. Most bugs, if they're outside, I'm fine. If they're not in my house, I'm in their house. I'm fine with it. If they're outside, I mostly don't react to them. My main issues with bugs outside is don't swarm me, don't sting or bite me. Like swarms of bugs start to make me panic. If you're biting me, I'm not super jazzed about that. And like I don't like an earwig. Get away from my coffee, please. Yeah, and like any flying bugs that are in my face, like get out of my face. Leave me alone. Get away from my food, get away from my face. In my house, I have a ruthless no bug policy. The only bugs I allow in my house are spiders. I love spiders. Stay away from my food, my bed, and off me. That's fair. So I have to be a little bit more ruthless with them because usually if I have bugs in my house, it's, I've had carpet moth infestations, and those are bad because I'm a model and I have a lot of clothes that I need to not be eaten. I have a visceral reaction to house centipedes. I know they're helpful, but they freak me the fuck out, and I'd rather have spiders. If it's a silverfish, because those can eat books and wood, so I need those to be out of my library. That's are different. Those break the contract. Yes. I will say, like, fruit flies I'll kill. House flies I will just let kind of vibe because they don't really bother me until they get to the point where they're like overstimulating me. But for the most part, I don't mind a housefly. If there's like a garden beetle or something, I'll just take it outside. You're not allowed in my house, but I will gently take you outside. Ants I kill. Because I've had ant infestations and I'm fucking cannot, no. It's one thing if there's like one, but also like here we have carpenter ants. That's fair. House centipedes bother me. Garden centipedes I'm fine with, but it's house centipedes. It's like the fuzzy, and I killed one once and the legs keep moving when you kill them, and also you can't drown them because they can swim. Yeah, ants there's never just one. And ants, like we have carpenter ants and they eat the wood, so it's like I need you to not. I need you to not. But like if a garden beetle gets in, or like a non-carpet moth, it has to be moving water. Yeah, you can't drown them in stagnant water because they float. This only counts if Bella hasn't seen the fair. That's cool. Bella's seen them, I must defeat the evil. Yes. I'm very much a like... That's kind of the thing with the house and spiders. I love a spider, but Steph does not like spiders. So spiders, if they stay in a corner, are fine. Like the little orb weavers and stuff. Those are fine. Little corner spiders are fine. If they're walking around, then they have to go outside. If a spider is like somewhere that Steph has to confront that there's a spider, I gently put them outside. The exception of that being jumping spiders because they're very cute. And then jumping spiders are okay as long as they don't jump on Steph. If they jump on Steph or like in her office in a way that's unacceptable, then they have to go outside. Though to be honest, sometimes I'll just take a jumping spider and put it in my room because I'm like, I love little jumping spiders. They're very cute. I consciously will bother them to get them to hide. Yeah. But yeah, like, there's like in this window, there's like a little gap in the, screen in the one spot. So sometimes I get little garden beetles that'll fly in my room. And I just gently take them outside. They're like teeny little like pill bug type guys. I'm super duper chill with most bugs. Aw, 3 jumping spiders, that's so cute. I like the pictures of them wearing raindrops as hats. It's very cute. Raindrop hat. Raindrop hat. I'm really excited. When I'm done stream, I get to pack all the camera stuff. Oh, mosquitoes die on site because they bite. If you bite me and make me itchy, you can fuck off. The minute you bite me without permission, like black flies also, you bite me, you die. You sting me, you die. Leave me the fuck alone. If I'm leaving you alone, you leave me alone. The minute that you cause me suffering, I will cause you suffering back, and I am bigger than you. Yeah. Yeah. Also, mosquitoes have caused more deaths of human beings than anything else in human history. Because they carry malaria and they've killed so many fucking people. I was more lazy about it before I was allergic. Fair. But yeah, I like there to not be bugs in my house. Again, if there's a garden beetle, whatever. You're not bugging me, I'm not bugging you, but like, pest bugs die. Non-pest bugs I try and gently put outside. And then I keep a harem of spiders. Those girls put in work. They're allowed to stay. Ooh, God, yeah, that sucks. Because I'm cold all the time? Possibly, it's probably also like, there's dietary things that can make mosquitoes like or not like you, or like scent things. Mosquitoes used to avoid me and now bite me all the time, so I don't know what the fuck changed, but... Spiders pay rent. Yeah, spiders pay rent. But now I do outdoor photo shoots. I just use a lot of bug spray. Treatment of your anemia? Oh, maybe. Maybe, actually. Anti-vampire diet. That sucks. I did have a bug bite me, fucking mosquito bite me through jeans once. I'm like, literally how? That's rude. Garlic bread in my veins? No. That's, take it from me, that's propaganda from Big Vampire so that you'll season yourself before we eat you. We need seasoning. Vampires are Italian. Exactly! Also, who doesn't like garlic? But yeah. God, I'm so excited to move. I'm so excited to be done moving, to be honest. I have all my stuff in the new house. For people who weren't here in the early crowd, I'm planning my first stream on the 2nd. We are going to be... It's a process? Yeah, it's a process. We'll be streaming probably, because I don't think we'll have internet on the 2nd. We'll fucking try, but, Steph and I have to figure that out. Thank you, I appreciate it, Pint. Honestly, that does help. But yeah, we have to get the internet over, so my next stream on the 2nd probably won't have internet. Can help him good with dealing with ISPs. Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't be too difficult to just say we've moved. We just have to actually decide, like, what ISP we want to go with based on price and, like, the area. Oh no, you're totally good, Pine. It's fine. I appreciate it though. But I will probably do a should access to fiber around there. Oh, we absolutely will. It just depends on like if it's Rogers or Bell, basically, or if like one of the smaller providers that runs on the Bell and Rogers infrastructure has fiber and is cheaper. We'll see. My vote is for fast and stable. I'm willing to pay more if it's fast and stable. Yeah, that's fair, Pint. Yeah, pain is a bitch, and it sucks, and it's dumb. But pain management apparently can increase the TISM, so at least we can level up the TISM while we're at it. But yeah, we'll probably be doing a setup, unpacking, vibing in the new place. Might give a house tour, might not. We'll see. But I'll just stream off my phone. Time to discover a love of trains. Oh, I've been there, baby. But I can stream off this thing. What I'll probably do is tether my laptop to this. So I can still use the OBS for... It won't give me down protection, really. But it'll at least give me, like, OBS, because the streaming through Twitch on here is, like, a nightmare. So... That's fair, Cat. Yeah, for me, it's not so much trains themselves, but urban planning that makes me really like trains. And I will admit, when I first moved to Toronto, I used to always sit at the front or the back of the streetcar so I could look out the window. Oh, you gotta tell me. You gotta tell me, Kat. But yeah, we'll do it. We'll do an unpacking stream and like figure out what's up, and then I will be away from the 8th to the 15th. So I will try and do a bonus stream the Monday or Tuesday before I leave so that we can start Silent Hill. But again, it'll all depend on when the internet fucking kicks up. And but as soon as we get the internet, we'll be playing Silent Hill. The only thing I'm upset about the move is that it's delaying me playing Silent Hill. But at least it'll mean that, like, we're not playing it today, so it'll have its day one patch before we start. Someone was going way too fast down College, drove into a streetcar that was directly next to parked cops, and drove away. That's amazing. What a fuckle chuck. Get fuckled. Oh, yeah. Yes, streetcars are supposed to have dedicated lanes. That's how they work in Europe. Because it's safer for pedestrians getting on and off the streetcars. It also means it's safer for pedestrians across the street because they can only have to look one way to get halfway across the street and then look the other way and walk halfway across the street. So it gives you staged crossings, which is also better for disabled people who can't necessarily get across a whole street in one go. So it's easier to cross the street. Secondly, then you have dedicated lanes that you can have for emergency vehicles because getting around a couple streetcars is easier than going down traffic. It then takes public transit out of traffic, speeding up traffic. It also means that you have an easier time, like, clearing snow in the winter because there's not fucking parked cars in the way. Bike lanes, yeah. Yep. Just like everything. I'm so radicalized by not just bikes. I don't even watch them that often, but god damn it. Please, we need better transit. And Doug Ford can eat my ass. But not for free. Double length protected bike lanes are also emergency vehicle access? Yes. Yep. I haven't, but my trainer has and was talking to me about it because we had to walk somewhere. And yeah, lanes in North America are wider because they have to accommodate fire trucks being wide. But also we could just not have fire trucks that wide. Or just have them go down streetcar lanes because streetcars are wider anyway. Stupid. It's silly. It's silly, innit? I don't know why I went boy bruv all of a sudden. Yep. Well, I'm sure firefighters are annoyed having to dodge traffic. And have such, like, wide vehicles that are difficult to fucking maneuver. Yeah, they're fucking annoying. And they're full of water, so, like, the inertia on them is insane. Getting them started or getting them stopped is difficult because they're just schwanging water around. Who wants to be schwanging water? They have better things. Exactly. Do you know it starts with F and ends in UG? Fuck. Why am I allowed to speak? I have no idea. Who gave me permission? Fuck yeah. Yes. Oh, I will say, Carlton and Sherburne is cursed. Oh god, yeah, it is. Whoever gave me permission, yes. But the good thing is too, is with the new stream setup, is I can just leave the door open and Kirby can just walk in. Kirby can just walk in and visit us while we're streaming. Baby, yes! We won't have Victoria in there because I don't think she'll fit. Because the new room that we're going to use as an office is small. That's why we're using it as an office. Because it's essentially a large closet. But we're going to have a dedicated stream room. So, like, I can put up stream stuff. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to decorate it. I might put all the video game stuff in there. Ventilated? Yes, there's a window in there. We can visit Victoria on occasion. Yeah, I mean, she'll be right there. And now that I know I can just fucking swap to the phone, I can easily PC hot in summer? Oh, yeah. We have AC, and if we need to, that window, I believe, opens vertically, so we can put a window AC in that room if we need to. But, Kat, if it helps, I am gonna freak out before the computer overheats. Though, I guess the computer might make me too hot, but, if we have a day where it's too hot to run the PC, like, I could just rip an IRL stream or something. Yeah. Like legitimately, if it's the summer and it's too hot to stream in the house because the AC is not keeping up with it for the top floor, I can rip an IRL stream and we can explore a mall or something that's air conditioned. PC overheats my room sometimes? Yeah. I did get a very good PC, so that should also help. It's liquid cooled. So it's not just fans, it's liquid cooled. So that should help too. Yes. And all of my lights are LEDs, so I won't have to deal with the problem that I think Salt has some issues with their lights being warm. But we'll see. Rainbows? Yes. I mean, we'll have that light. I have a I haven't been using it because it's USB powered, but I have a USB plug-in ring light, like a little dimmer one. Salt has 50 billion lights. That's true. I'm planning on just having... What I'm probably going to do is use the ring light as a key light. English is made up. But I'm going to use that ring light because it has like a desk mount. So that'll be easier for me to have as a key light. I just couldn't use it till now because I have no idea how streamers manage with face lights. Even LEDs get hot when you have 90 of them. That's true. So included. Well, you kind of, I guess it depends if your level of photosensitivity, and then you just dim them and you up the ISO in your camera. That can help a lot to make it seem brighter than it actually is in the room. It really only becomes an issue when you're playing like horror games or something. Or if your camera's not very good. Like you guys have seen me stream, and like when I stream, like when I've streamed at night and I have to go turn a lamp on, that's like an IKEA paper fucking lamp. Like that's not bright. And then I have the RGB light, which is also not super, it's very color intense, but it's less bright than you'd think it is. But it seems bright because of the ISO. Like, this looks like this is overblown on the camera. Salt is very blind. But keep in mind, I'm streaming off of that. See how it auto dims? That's not bright. But it's auto exposing to my skin, so that then gets overblown. Better in darkness than the twilight, something with how eyes focus. Well, yeah, so it's flat, that's why. That's very normal. Twilight gets really flat and like confusingly even. The thing that'll freak you out is I see better at twilight than I do during the day in sunlight. That's weird. Having a hard time in like, that's part of why like there are crepuscular hunters that have specific eyes to handle hunting in the twilight hours, because a lot of animals have trouble seeing. Yeah, I'm weird because I handle twilight better than like sunlight. I would rather it be overcast and weirdly flat than bright. I can't fucking see. This kind of weather is dark. Yeah, like me just opening that like hurts my eyes, but like if I adjusted to it, I'd be fine. But yeah, I deal better with overcast, flat, even lighting, or like the dark. But like, yeah, that's fair. Autumn is the best season. But like, as far as like lights go for stream, like keep in mind, like watch how much brighter it gets when I turn this on. Oh, wait. that's just 3 incandescent bulbs. And see how much brighter that is? That's not bright. So, like, my, the camera will trick you, especially if a streamer has a very good camera. Like, if they're streaming off of what I stream off of, which is like an actual body, the camera body, not just a webcam. This is probably dark enough that if I zoomed in, you could see grain here, because this is dark. Or, like, grain over in, like, the shadowy areas, or, like, here. But the sensor on that is big enough that, like, it has a really good, like, auto exposure that, like, I look perfectly exposed even though I'm in a dark room. This is actively very dark. I would say it probably is brighter in my eyes than on camera just because I'm photosensitive, but it's very close. It's very close. Like, that is brighter on camera than it is in my eyes. That's I can see my hand. My hand is dark over here. But yeah, so a lot of the times with the key lights and stuff, it's a trick. Yeah. Or, I'm sorry, Steph messaged me about the internet. Blackout curtains are great. My new room is going to be reasonably dark, depending. So when we were in there, it was pretty dark, but there were more trees in the backyard, so we'll see how dark that door is, because I have a fucking door. So currently we're looking at either Bell or Tech Savvy, because Rogers, their highest upload is 30. 30 megabits per second is their highest upload. That is not sufficient. Bell has... We have 150 megabits, which is good. Tech Savvy has 940 unlimited. Hell yeah. So we might go with that one. Because I need good upload speeds for this, for y'all. Largely on Rogers hardware? Okay. I thought it was on Bell, but I could be wrong. Works great when it works. If you need repairs, you're fucked. Yeah. Yeah, Rogers just I would rather avoid. Yeah, the current neighborhood we're in is like 100% Bell. This neighborhood is Bell. God, my sinuses are deciding that I experienced too much Kirby yesterday. Spent a year and a half on a back and forth with Tech Savvy / Rogers because something, probably a raccoon, ate a good chunk of the coax cable and they wouldn't come and replace it. Oh, great! Oh, great! Welcome back, Lucy. How'd the airport go? You finally got off? Lucy, do you want to see Scooty again? I can show you some more Scooty. I can show you some Scooter. Oh, I gotta fucking switch scenes. Jesus Christ. I'm a professional. Oh, I gotta fucking switch scenes. Jesus Christ. I'm a professional streamer, y'all. Look at him. Look at him. Oh, it's not focusing. 1 second. Let me turn the light on. There, now maybe it'll stop having any shit. Look at him! Look at him! Little noodly guy. Little noodly guy. Look at him. Look at him. Little noodle. Very sweet. Scooter is very adorable. He's a very small little circle man. Okay. Ah. He's a little guy. He's just a little guy doing little guy things. Oh hell yeah, you get to relax. That's good. You guys need some rest. I should eat lunch soon. I might eat all your cupcakes. I got cryptid some cupcakes last night because it was his birthday. I didn't get to do anything but moving stuff for his birthday, so I'm like, cupcakes! I put a candle on top. But, like, we didn't have any birthday candles, so I just had, like, a tea light in one of my altar candle holders. I was like, here you go. Close enough. Cupcakes! Did you guys eat anything before you left this morning? Or did you just, like, sleepily leave? Nope. That means there are 4 cupcakes for me. Any food you guys left here, we are consuming. Because it will not be still good by the time you get back. I think Steph had your extra burger for lunch. Yes. Hope your trip goes good. Keep me updated if anything. Yoshi. I'm so fucking tired, yeah. You need a nap, take a nap. I'm so glad I told you to have a little bit of a nap last night. Yosh. Yeah, I'm so excited for Silent Hill, y'all. You have no idea. And there's a release trailer that came out that I haven't seen yet. I'm so freaking stoked. So excited. New Silent Hill movie? No, new Silent Hill game comes out today. But I can't play it because of the move. I have to wait until we have internet at the new place. So I can't play it on this. So I have to wait for the new computer. And then I have to have internet. Yeah, Silent Hill F. Silent Hill Forte. Which Silent Hill Loud is so... I cannot begin to tell you how fucking funny Silent Hill Loud is as a name. It makes me unreasonably amused. Like, yeah, it's the F. It's the cursive F for Forte. It's Silent Hill Forte. It's Silent Hill Loud. That's so fucking silly. Why? That's hilarious. That's a stupid name. That's objectively a silly name. Isn't that amazing? That's why it's just called F. It's Forte. Loud Hill. So dumb. Anyway. It was a Forte side. Yeah, it's Forte. Cause like I was a band geek in high school. So like I immediately was like, that's Forte. Silent Hill Loud. Band geek. Anyway, but music sheets, that's fair. I played, for anyone who doesn't know, I played, I mean, we all did recorder in middle school, but I did French horn from 9th to 12th grade. And then, oh, cursive Fs look a little different, but yeah. And then I did trumpet in 9th grade for jazz band. And then did marching French horn in marching band in grade 10. And then I did cymbals in grade 11 and color guard in grade 12, I think. I can't remember what years I did what, but I know I did marching French horn in grade 10, because it was normally just the senior band who did marching band, but they didn't have any marching French horns, so they needed me. So I'm like, fine. And then so the other years that I did March, I was like, I want to do percussion because I don't want to play the same fucking song for another year. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to do color guard because I'm bored. I'm just going to hold a flag. I've already done this for 2 years. And we play the same fucking... We play Joy to the World every year. Like, I don't want to play this song anymore. Alto sax from grade 6 to grade 10 and flute in grade 9. Oh, hell yeah. Piano for 6 to 7 years. I took a year of piano. I got to grade 2 and then I had to stop because my pinky kept locking. If you see, like, when I reach my pinky out, it locks. And like this, the end of this finger doesn't do anything. So like my whole left hand doesn't, and also I think this pinky doesn't lock anymore, but it used to. So my whole left hand doesn't fucking work. How am I supposed to play piano with a non-functional left hand? Also why I stopped? Yeah. I did piano when I was in grade 6, I think. Grade 6 or 7? 5? Somewhere in there. I had to have been in grade school. It was before high school. Because when I went to high school, part of the reason I was given French horn is because I could already read sheet music. Because... Oh yeah, guitar would be great. My fingers don't work though, so... I'd have to play it backwards. If I was going to play guitar, I'd have to hold the frets with this hand and strum with this hand. I'd have to play it backwards. Because this isn't going to work. I'd have to do it this way. Because these fingers work more. But I also... Splints might help. But, I want to learn to play a hurdy-gurdy. Because I can do keys with one hand. But even the hurdy-gurdy, I'm going to probably have to do backwards. Yeah. The, like, pushing the frets and your fingers going backwards. Because I tried... My sister had a guitar when we were kids. And I try and play it. And I could play, like, Smoke on the Water and any given Green Day song. But not for very long. Because my fingers would fucking kill. But yeah, I played O Canada at school stuff when I was in middle school or grade school. I can't remember if it was middle school or late grade school. I did like piano recitals and stuff, but I had to stop because my fingers don't work. But I want to learn to play a hurdy-gurdy because I think that would be really fun, and you can do like electric hurdy-gurdies and distort them, and I think that'd be rad. To get like distortion pedals on a hurdy-gurdy. Yeah. Hurdy-gurdy's fuck. They're very expensive, but I wanna at least get like one of the DIY make it yourself ones. Not their shitty ones, but the nerdy-gurdies are decent-ish quality, but much less expensive because you make them out of, I think, 3D printed parts. Or I could see if there's like 3D print files and then just get strings and stuff. But I would love to try a hurdy-gurdy to see if I like it, and eventually upgrade to electric one, because that's something I could do. It'd be either that or get a French horn back, but I don't think me playing French horn... I mean, I guess if we're living in a detached house and it's just like Lucy, Cryptid, and Steph, if I had a French horn again, or like I could, because I just play it when they're not home, or like play it in the backyard or something like that. But French horns are also ridiculously expensive. At least with a hurdy-gurdy, you can theoretically, like, they're not as loud as a brass instrument. Brass instruments are fucking loud. And if I was playing a hurdy-gurdy in the backyard, you wouldn't hear it in the house. A French horn, you would hear it. But yeah, I don't know. It's something I'll have to figure out. But I would love to play music again. Because, like, I loved being in band in school. Because, like, we did band trips and, like, I love music. Like, practicing alto sax. Yeah, alto saxes are also loud. Yeah, basically any breath-powered instrument is going to be loud. I don't have proprioception enough to play whatchamacallit, but I'd love to play the ones where you just do this in space. What are those called again? Flute is less loud, but it's piercing. And when you do those higher notes, theremin, yes, theremin. I'd love to learn to play theremin. Because that at least I wouldn't have to deal with, like, tactile pressure. I feel like theremins are so good. I'd love to learn to play a theremin. But I do not currently have a theremin. Okay. Hand and hang drums too, yeah. I had bongos for a bit. My sister and I used to, like, collect really weird instruments. So we have, like, a bugle, we have bongos, we have those, like, little thumb pianos. The ones that look like a UFO, yeah. Hand drums are great. Steel drums are really fun. But yeah. Yeah. God, I love music. And I miss playing music so much. It's the best. Yeah, I can't believe the next time you guys see me live, I'm gonna be in a different building. Yeah. Music's also great because it's like this really nice, like, nonverbal communication. It's just, moving's wild to me. Because I've been in this apartment for 5 years. 5 years. We moved January 1st, 2020. So, like, I've been locked in this house for, like, a good chunk of those years. Like, we really lived here. Because, like, our appointment before that, we also lived for 5 years. But moving from there didn't feel quite as weird. Because we were, like, in and out all the time. And that landlord sucked ass. And, like, we just weren't... We left a lot. But here, like... Hitting lockdown in a new apartment, though, was definitely the move. Because it meant I wasn't sick of the neighborhood, and I got to spend all of 2020 exploring the neighborhood and getting to know, like, what businesses were in the area and stuff, and then watching them slowly close. But then when things opened up, watching new things open up, it was super cool. Like, that was a really fun experience to just, like, be in a new place. But, like, fucking Unus Annus was, I watched that in this room, in this bed right here. I really started streaming here because like my last apartment is where I officially I started streaming, but like I streamed a couple times and then our internet connection was too bad that I couldn't be consistent with it. And at the start of COVID, I really tried to stream and did another attempt in Steph's office and then got burnt out because COVID was destroying my brain. Like being in lockdown and stuff. I just like couldn't. And I think I just tried to do too much. I tried to act like I was a professional full-time streamer when I wasn't and didn't have that experience. So then I started streaming again here, and I think I had like another little break because of the what's that? I'm gonna hug Steph goodbye. But yes, the I had some anemia related gap in streaming, but I've been pretty consistent since I started because I streamed in here for a bit, and then I had a gap for health, and then I started streaming in the living room. But like, I really got my feet under me as a streamer in this apartment, and same with modeling. Like, I had just started my Patreon in 2019, in the fall of 2019, or no, I guess the summer of 2019 when we got back from Japan. But I had like 9 months under my belt before I moved in here. And then so most of my independent modeling career, doing like my own stuff, not just like being hired to shoot for other people, but my career of making my own art was here. Because like I've been modeling and performing since I was like 19, but the really diving into making my own cosplay and making my own photo shoots and editing my own stuff. Like I learned how to edit photos in this room. I learned, like I transitioned here. Like I got top surgery and recovered in this bed, in this room. Like, it's fucking wild. So much life. That, like, this apartment, like, has been so much of, like, the big growth of my 30s. Like, I got ordained in this room. Like, I did all my ordination stuff, and most of my TST stuff, I was living here. Because I started going to TST in the fall of 2019. So almost all of my TST life has been in this room. It's always strange to leave an area that's home. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. And, like... And the interesting thing is like, I'm not going to dox what my new neighborhood is, but it's a neighborhood that I do have familiarity with. That like, it's one of the places that, like, it's in a neighborhood that I've been in since I moved to the city. Like, I've never lived there before, but it's a neighborhood I'm very familiar with. I'll put it that way. So, like, it's also weird going back to that neighborhood after having, like with this new perspective of, like, oh, I'm gonna live here. I felt that way when Oma sold her house back in the day. Yeah. Or, God, when my parents and I, like, when we moved out of the house I grew up in when I was a baby, it's, like, the house with all of my worst trauma in it, the house where I learned to talk, walk, like... some of my best childhood memories and the worst all in that, like, one house. And then we moved when I was in, like, 7th grade. Eighth grade. So, like, yeah, weird feeling. Spent so much of my childhood in my Oma and Opa's house. Yeah. Yeah. Or like when we sold our cottage, because like all of our family vacations were there. My grandma died. Like we still have her apartment, but she's not in it anymore. Mom and I never had stable enough housing to get that feeling. Yeah. Like my dad's about to retire and sell his practice, and like that's wild to me too. Is like he's gonna sell this building that he's owned just before I was born, like a building that I used to have a crib in. That would be weird. Yeah, like my dad's had that business. Like he bought that building and started that practice in that building, and that's where my mom and dad met. They met there because my mom and her mom needed a new eye doctor, and they my dad had just moved into town, and so they went into the office. My mom met, and my mom was going to school to be a medical assistant, so to do reception for medical practices. She'd worked for my old family doctor before, and they met there. They met in this building my dad's not going to own next year. My family is planning to sell the house I grew up in, and it's still weird, even if I haven't lived there in 11 years. Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. Like, yeah, time is a fuck. And it's just like, I think it's hitting harder for me because the world doesn't feel stable right now. Like, every other time I've moved, like, my life might be unstable, but the world was fairly stable. Like, the world around me was predictable. Even if things were changed and stuff, it was predictable. But like going through a move while the world is this unstable is just so weird. I don't really know what to do with my feelings right now. It's so strange in part because it's going to be a home and a place of memories for someone else. Yeah. Very glad my grandparents all moved when they did. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, it is also interesting to think of like what this space is going to be for the next people here. Yeah. Well, and especially because like the other thing I think that's also hitting me is none of the places I've lived have I liked my neighbors and been connected to my neighbors the way that I am here. Like the people who live on the other side of this wall, like genuinely like them. Like, genuinely, I'm going to miss them so much. And that's a weird feeling. Because, like, I think the only other time is the community house I lived in. I kind of missed the superintendent. But, like, other than that, like, I haven't really had a situation where I was this close with my neighbors. Or, like, the other downstairs neighbor, I dog sat their puppy during COVID. Like, I'm going to miss Thor. As much as he's a loud, barking menace, I'm gonna miss that guy. You survived a zombie apocalypse. I'm glad you survived, Dolly. I'm glad to hear it. Are the zombies chill? I hope they're chill. I hope they're chill little guys. But yeah, I don't know. And there's also like I'm really emotional because my sister sent me their like the wedding photos are finally back, and I looked through them all Tuesday night, and I simply sobbed. I just curled up in my bed and sobbed. So like that's a change too of like my sister's last name is different. Like my sister's like a grown ass adult woman now, and like that's weird. And like she's married. Like what? My baby sister is married? Like, huh? And like to like look through like I'm in so many of those pictures just because I was helping so much. I'm not dealing well with hitting the age where my peers start getting married. Yeah. Especially my baby sister. Like, I took care of her, and now she's married. Huh? I was on my friend's birthday stream, and the game was called Road to Canada or something, which is funny. Godzilla healed me. Sick. Godzilla's a homie. My little brother's getting a master's degree. Yeah, like, the fuck is time, you know? Like, I don't agree, actually, with the passage of time. Can we stop? Guess what? What? What, Dolly? What is it? What is it? Uh-huh. Aw, I appreciate that. Never asked for this. I appreciate you. I did think you were gonna say chicken butt. That is true. I bring you a baby. Okay. Okay, I gotta fucking... Aw, that is a baby. Here, chat, let me... You are a silly man. We are silly little beans. Sorry for the OBS, but look at the baby. Look at the baby. That's a cute baby. Oh, that is closer than I thought it would be. But look at the baby. Look at them beans. I was eating those beans. That's very cute, cat. Baby. Scooter has not moved. Victoria is still turtling. I have been streaming for 3.5, almost 3 3/4 hours. I need to piss again. And I need to get lunch. That's so cute. Would y'all be okay if I raid out now? So I can deal with whatever's happening to my sinuses and go get lunch. And like deal with my bodily functions. Okay. So we're gonna raid out. I appreciate you all hanging out with me, especially for like these last couple like weird vibey chatty streams. Cause it means a lot that you care to hang out even when I'm not doing stuff. Because moving is weird and disruptive, but next stream will be next Thursday. I will be probably unpacking because I probably won't have internet, but we still have data, so we'll still be streaming. Might just be wandering around the house and looking at stuff. What else, Dolly? Much love. But yes, we will be still streaming. Probably no internet. But perfect. But we will be streaming Silent Hill F as soon as I get internet, and then I will be away from October 8th to 15th. So I'm gonna try and stream. So next stream will be unpacking. Stream after that, I'll probably do either the Monday or the Tuesday before I leave. So either the 6th or the 7th. And I will try to stream Silent Hill. We'll do a nice long stream. And then I will be away. And I'll be streaming on the 16th as usual. And then I'll try and get some bonus streams in where I can in October. I do still need to do photo shoots for November. So, like, I gotta fit some shit in. I'm gonna try and do a shoot while I'm away. But I'll at least have 2 shoots that I have to do in October, but... Hi, Chef! Welcome in! Yes, very good luck, Dolly. I hope you kill second year as much as you did the first. Good luck, good luck. But yes, let us raid, because I really have to pee. I'll study hard. Yeah! Yeah! Just don't mind the raid message. I promise you it makes sense. Oh fuck yeah, DHL is pretty solid. Yeah, I'm sorry we're raiding out you, Chef, but we're raiding into D-Tune as we usually do. That's the raid message. They'll understand. They're finally back from Get Lost. They did like a 10-day. They did a 10-day stream of traveling from LA to New Orleans, and they maybe lost their mind a little bit and started saying random shit. Mango, mango, habanero. Mango, mango, habanero. They got lost a couple times, had some fun. They're now back. This is their second stream back home since it's their second stream of the month in their office. But they're going over some of the stuff they did. They're going over footage review of the paranormal stuff they did when they were there. So it's gonna be a good time. I learned for a bit. I appreciate it. Yeah. So Jordan at one point was in the undercarriage of the RV and started chanting "Beep Boop Banana Boat" and tried to get us all to do it. We did it, and their co-host M got actually really freaked out that we all got botted. And then she understood that it was a joke, and then later he was just like, mango, mango, habanero, and we just spammed it in chat to freak her out again. It was very funny. But yes, I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you for being so understanding of the weird moving nonsense, but we will be back to regular streams eventually. So thank you for bearing with me. I appreciate you so much. Take your meds, drink your water, eat your food. Don't forget your Tylenol to make sure you do your TISM maintenance dose. Extra strength Tylenol for the extra strength TISM. And I will see you all next week. Thank you so much. Bye, love you. Bye, bye, bye. Bye, Dolly. Bye, you, Chef. Bye, Pint. Bye, Cat. Bye, Steffi, if you're lurking still. Bye. Bye, all the new beans. I appreciate y'all so much. Bye, bye, bye. Bye. Bye, bye, bye. Yeah. Okay, bye.